Bourbon. Belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. My name is Ryan.
And I'm good old TJ.
And today we have
Nathan.
Yeah.
Again.
back.
Nathan is
We
back!
have our
Hey, buddy.
first recurring guest.
Hell yeah. Yes.
It's only our third guest.
So that was the first and the third.
Yeah, first, and you were the first guest and the third guest.
Nice, yeah.
And
I'm excited.
The second.
Don't cut Quinn out of this.
Oh yeah, that's true. Quinn and Laney has been on it. That's true.
Too.
But official guests.
Yes.
And our second guest is actually an honorary producer of the show today, back behind the camera.
Hey, Justin.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey!
All
Superman
righty.
video, he was in the back.
Just like I was in the back.
Well, shit.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
Let's get
we're
to
back.
this.
We're doing this thing. We had a kind of a little special cash-in of sorts. Did it a little different this time. Tomorrow happens to not only be night 2 of WrestleMania, but it is also my brother Nathan's birthday.
The big 3-6.
The big 3-6. So we
Getting
did
old
just
out here.
just like we did a couple weeks ago. We did a little birthday cash-in for Timmy. We did a little birthday cash-in for Nathan as well. You guys will find that on the socials. We'll get to those here in a second. But we did it in the sense of, again, Nathan doesn't know what the bottle of bourbon is that we got.
I know.
He doesn't know.
All right, because
No
this is a
idea.
little birthday surprise. So let me pull that out first and foremost. It is a brown bag bourbon. No.
Classy. Keep it
The
on
bourbon
class.
that we have is called Chestnut Farms.
Oh.
All right, it's actually a really beautiful bottle itself.
Yeah.
The design on it is gorgeous. It says from Barton 1792 Master Distillers. It's Kentucky straight bourbon. It is 90 proof. All right. There's not a big blurb or anything like cool information on this, but I will explain the reason why I got it. Got it at Total Wine today. It was like $79 or whatever. After I walked out, it was like $93 total or whatever.
Nice.
And yeah, like I said, got it at Total Wine. Talked to the guy, told him, hey, this is the situation. My brother's birthday is tomorrow. He's not a big bourbon drinker. He's more of a Scotch/Irish whiskey kind of guy. And I was like, but I want to try to, like, my thing's kind of bourbon. I want to get him a bourbon that could kind of bridge. And this and one other one that we have already actually had on the show, the Wolcott, was one that he said was would be good options. I did test it at which I don't usually do. This is the first time I've tasted a bourbon before having it on the show. I know you've done that once as well.
Yeah.
And just I want to make sure. All right, I wanted to do it up good for your birthday. So we got the Chestnut Farms Kentucky straight bourbon. Let me see if I can
And
figure
you
out
get
how-
to take this home with you.
Yes.
Oh,
Whatever's left of it.
Yeah.
I do?
Yes. Or
Thank you.
or just, keep drinking it as we watch night one of WrestleMania tonight. It might not make it
I
home.
still have to drive home.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's not that far though.
it's a 40-minute drive. Let me give you a hand here.
No, you got it.
I got it.
I'm just supporting
I got
this.
it.
I'm supporting the
Giving you a
script.
hand, giving me a hand.
I'm
We're gonna
supporting
go
the
that
script.
bitch for right now.
All right. I'm gonna be selfish here just because it's close to me.
Wow.
I'm gonna go here.
Justin,
I gave
get-
it to the birthday boy first.
Justin, get your cup
Yeah,
in
Justin,
here.
bring your glass over.
Little dribble there.
Yeah, here.
Zamboni.
Okay.
Come on, bring it in.
Get
Bring
it
in
in.
for
Get
the
it
real
in.
thing.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Yep. Just the tip, just for a second, just see how it feels.
Oh.
All right, ouch, ouch.
Ouch, ouch.
You want more? You want
That's
more?
perfect.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
Look at that.
All
That is
right,
beautiful.
don't.
There you
That's
go.
a beautiful horse.
Don't chug it.
I know. I really thought I've actually looked at this one a couple times when I've been up at Total Wine too. So the fact that he recommended, thank you, Jesus Christ.
Vocabulary, English and stuff.
I guess I was gonna say referred, but I guess that technically
Yeah.
still would have worked.
Yeah, it
Right?
works.
But recommendation, I think, is the better word. The fact that he did that, I was like, okay, I wanted to try that, and then the fact that they had it at the tasting booth, I was like, even better.
Yeah.
So I was a couple nippers already deep when I got here. Just a little teeny tiny
Smells
thing.
good.
All right,
Cheers,
let's
brother.
get to it.
Happy
See how we're
birthday.
feeling
Justin.
about it.
Bring it on in.
Yeah, bring it
on in.
over.
Shoots in this way.
Get over. Yeah, that's probably the smarter,
Brother's got a hug.
less
All
catastrophic
that.
way to. Okay. All right, let's take a sip and see what we got.
Oh, damn.
That's exactly what I said
That
when he
is-
gave me and it was like warm, you know.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even on ice, but I knew. I was like, that's fucking delicious.
That is a good crossover into Irish.
Do you like
Irish,
It's high rye.
Not quite Scotch,
It's
but Irish.
Yeah, it's a high rye bourbon,
Yeah.
which is not typically what I go for. I'm not usually a rye fan, but this is so fucking.
Yeah.
You can feel the burn all the way down
I
into
know.
the belly.
But it's like a smooth
But
burn.
when it goes,
It's-
first comes in, it's smooth.
Yeah.
Don't know
But
burn
yeah,
at all.
but then it's
and
warm.
all the way
Yeah.
down.
I don't even know if I'd call
That's
it
good.
a burn
Yeah,
per
it's just
se, but it's
warming.
just like a warmth. It's warming to the soul. What do you think?
It's a little sweet on the aftertaste too.
Yeah.
It was smooth
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
birthday boy, what you giving it? Obviously, you're not a bourbon connoisseur.
Obviously not, but that's like I said, that is bordering, coming over into the lane of an Irish or not quite an Islay Scotch.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say it does seem more on the Irish whiskey side of that bridge than the Scotch
Yeah.
side. But
I'm gonna go with an 8.5 on that guy.
all right, nicely done, Timmy.
I was going to give it a 9.
I was gonna give it a 9 as well.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely one of the better quality bourbons I think that we've had on the show, and that I'm happy that's the one. I'm happy it worked
good.
out.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm happy you like it. That was the important part here.
My first favorite kind of bourbon is free.
There you go.
Yes. That brings us over to our socials. You can find us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok. We are at TripBPod, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts, and Blockbusters. And you can shoot us an email at triplebpod619@gmail.com. Make sure to subscribe, like, interact with us. We want to interact with you. We've been doing a lot better with that. So let's get social. I wanna get social.
All right, that brings us to this week's edition of our weekly fact check, where we go over certain talking points from the previous week that we may have, flubbed up on, or just things that were just more clarifications of things we may have missaid or whatever. Right? So, for the most part, all around clean. It's really just clarifications of things. Only one of them is actually I said something that was like just wrong.
What?
And the rest of them are all clarifications of things. So we kept it pretty clean.
Oh, good.
It was nice. We've had we've gone a couple fairly clean episodes in a row now, which is solid. Firstly, this is the one that I just straight up messed up on. We were talking about like the title shapes and stuff last week, and I had mentioned how, because we were talking about how Cody Rhodes promo last week had all of the titles. On last week's SmackDown.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the Undisputed Era WWE Championship, and then I had said how like that kind of matched the shape of the tag titles at that time too. It was kind of the more like almost like rounded rectangular shape of a belt, right? And then I was saying how like now how pretty much all the titles except the WWE title is like that same like World Heavyweight Championship shape. That was wrong. The U.S. titles are also both men's and women's are the shape of the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
They're like the same, more kind of like the squared look, right?
Yeah.
So the SmackDown titles are that. The Raw titles are the same shape as the World Heavyweight for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, the rounded gold instead of the plated looking WWE. And yeah, so that was that. I just like I thought of that when I said it last week too. I was like, that was wrong. Fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I doing? So that was that. Then the rest of them, there's just like 5 other things in the Blockbusters area. I couldn't remember who Nick Kroll played the character in Sausage Party. Oddly enough, he was the douche.
No way.
Yeah, he actually played the cartoon like douche itself, and he is also the douche from Parks and Rec. Luke Grimes, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's in Casey and Yellowstone. That is correct. He is Casey in Yellowstone. Yeah. Pedro Pascal, Oscar nominations and/or wins. He has never been nominated.
Really?
Yep, he's never been nominated.
For nothing?
He has won like 44 other awards, he's been nominated like 44 other times, and he's won like 22 or 23 something other awards, like SAG, BAFTA, like all sorts of different stuff, but never an Oscar, from what I was able to find at least.
Maybe that's why he's pumping out
Yeah.
movies left and right now,
yeah.
because he's in everything.
He's trying to get that nomination. He's presented at the Oscars. He has been present at the Oscars multiple times because it's a family member of his is a producer. So
Okay.
like they've been a part of Oscar wins and stuff, so he's been there a lot, but he's never actually been
I feel like prior to the last like few years, he's mostly done TV work. Because like one of the first roles where you recognize Pedro
TV
Pascal is
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Mostly TV work, so that might be one of the reasons why. Like he had a couple of smaller supporting roles, like in I think it was The Equalizer with Denzel.
Yeah.
He's in that, but I don't feel like he's had a lot of like starring.
It might be his
Starring
movie
roles up
choices
until the
that
last
he's
fair.
in.
Oh, that, yeah.
Well, hey,
True.
Hey, I don't hate on it. I'm just
the Nicolas Cage one.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal. The
talent.
unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
When Nicolas Cage played Nicolas Cage.
Next up, Knock at the Cabin cast. I had like mentioned Dave Bautista and Rupert Grint, and then I was like, I can't remember the names of the other people, and there's a reason for that. They're really like the only two actual like fully notable people.
Okay.
When I looked up the cast, I was like, I don't really know any of the names, so I was like, I'm not just gonna go list off a bunch of people who aren't like known actors. So that was there's a reason for that, and it wasn't just that I couldn't remember other known people. And finally, I was questioning my own self on if I said in the Peanut Butter Falcon if it was Mick Foley and Jake the Snake Roberts, because that's what I said last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, was it Jake the Snake? And it was.
Yeah.
And I just looked up to see if there were any other wrestlers in it, and I didn't see any like named wrestlers.
Nothing
like
They were the only two.
yeah, they were the only two. Like maybe a couple of the other people were like indie wrestlers or something from like a territory or something, but not like a known guy. So,
Fun fact.
and that's it.
Peanut Butter Falcon was in the last episode Nathan was in Toasted or Trash.
Yep.
Oh no
and-
shit!
yeah.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah, because
that.
I watched it specifically because I was coming on the.
Yeah, that is funny. What are the odds?
What are the
What are the
odds?
chances? Look at us.
Look at us.
Full circle.
Well, that brings us to bells. Well, Timmy, Nathan, what do you want to talk about? Start with the birthday boy
Or you
first.
want me to take it?
I kind of want to talk about the state of lucha in the WWE.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of talent, a lot of lucha talent in the WWE right now, and while Penta and Phoenix are
Just gonna make sure.
really
Get that to
good.
your mouth.
I feel like there's a lot of guys that have been lucha guys that have been in the WWE now for a few years that are kind of taking a back seat at this point to Phoenix, Penta, and then having El Grande Americano come out and kind of start making a mockery of it. Do you guys think that we may see kind of an exodus here in the next couple of years of some of those lucha names like Los Garza, maybe some of those guys that haven't really been given a shot in recent memory, watching Penta get a Intercontinental Championship shot, watching all the attention hit Phoenix, and obviously those guys are big names outside of the WWE, so it makes sense that they're going to do that. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think I say it all the time, but Santos Escobar is barely getting used, and it looks like he's gonna start getting used a little bit, but even then he's, like you said, taking a back seat, and I could see an exodus of them leaving soon just because they're not getting a lot of TV time, and doesn't look like it will go that way. Like, just look at LWO. They barely get any TV time, and it's always Ray that's getting the forefront of that.
I'm kind of the other way on this. I don't think the arrival of Ray Phoenix and Penta has in any way, shape, or form negatively impacted the rest of the Luchas. And the reason I say that is because the rest of the Luchas' screen time is in no way, shape, or form negatively different than it was before Ray and Penta arrived. It's been a long time. I forgot who the other two people in the LWO were until the Andre the Giant Battle Royal last night.
Joaquin Wilde and Justin, help me out.
It's what you're here for.
Cruz del Toro.
Cruz del Toro, yeah.
That's your only job!
I also forgot there were more members of the
No, but that exactly.
So you said that, I was like, what?
Yeah, so that goes to that literally goes to my point here is like we have talked for months now about the lack of use of the LWO on Raw, about the lack of use of the Los Garzas and Santos Escobar. I think if anything, the arrival of Ray Phoenix and Penta, and now El Grande Americano, right? Americano?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, that's a coffee.
Yeah.
I was like, did I say that right?
It's a medium Starbucks.
Yeah.
20.
Venti is large.
Congratulations. Now you're
Venti
stupid in
means
3
20.
languages. No, but, and because, like, now you have, it's Lucha is being talked about on both shows now, right?
Fair
And now you're getting that, what is looking to be a potential build of rivalry between Ray Phoenix and Los Garzas and Santos Escobar now. Like, he's beaten both of the other two members. Or no, I guess just Birdo so far, right?
Yeah.
But we're looking at him more than likely facing off against the other one, which looks, especially after last night, like it might lead to him versus Santos Escobar. So, like, if anything, I feel like that's propping up that portion of the division. I would be shocked if we see an exodus of the other members, because now they're getting more screen time now than in the last 2 weeks since Ray Phoenix debuted than they have in the last year almost.
True, but it's always short stints. It's like, yeah, we're gonna
But
see
short
a week.
But short stints is better than no stints. Am I right?
So the way I'm seeing it, and the reason I posed this question is I'm kind of seeing almost a turn back to the early 90s, late 80s situation where smaller guys couldn't get up there, you know. Yeah, we got Cody Rhodes with it holding the championship belt, but all the other championships pretty much are held by bigger muscle bound guys.
Not after tonight when you get Yeet Master Jay knocking off old Gunther.
But back in the day, like there's a reason why Shawn Michaels became a household name, because he was the smaller guy getting a shot at the big title, right? Yeah. And that traditionally hadn't happened.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like they need to make another cruiserweight on SmackDown.
I would love
light
that.
heavyweight
I would love that.
to get those guys a little bit more time. They're already moving toward 3-hour shows every week. So there's more screen time, more time to get some more of those things going.
Well, and
I feel like that'd be a good way to get those lucha guys a lot more screen time.
It's been painfully obvious a few of these last episodes of wrestling that they need more content to fill.
Oh yeah,
than just some random bullshit.
Absolutely,
So,
and
yeah, for sure.
Where was I going? Oh, like take it back to the rest of the LWO. Like I've been watching every week again for a year. I took several years off from watching and been watching regularly again every week for a year, and I didn't remember Cruz del Toro's name.
Yeah,
there's a problem with that.
No, but that's what I'm saying, right? Is it? I don't think it has anything to do with Penta and Ray, because they've only been Penta's only been here for 2 months. Ray's been here for literally 2 weeks, right? He debuted I think 2 weeks ago. SmackDown, right? So that's what I'm saying is that the first part of your, like, I agree with the fact that the Lucha, like, they need to be pushed because they are arguably the best in-ring performers on the roster.
I mean, even Mysterio, you know,
he's amazing.
His
he's
career
50-something years old and he's still moving around.
His career in the WWE is pushing the length that the Undertaker's had.
Yeah,
that the Undertaker actually had performing.
Oh, yeah,
regularly.
absolutely.
And he's out there every week doing
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, he's definitely not far behind at all. Because, I mean, he was early WCW days, right? So
he was late WCW days.
Right?
Yeah.
95 till close.
Yeah, that's he was there for a good portion of it.
Yeah, but the WCW been around.
They closed
longer
around
than
2001, though.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
A lot longer than
I'm pretty sure the
1995.
only match Cruz has had in the last year is the Andre Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So he can't be faulted for not even knowing who he is and doing fuck all
Right,
with it.
and that's, anytime you see the LWO, it's literally Dragon Lee,
Right.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And you don't see these other guys, so that's kind of what I was talking about. Not the bigger name lucha guys, but kind of the smaller names that we don't know, like that are solid talent, real good at performers. Do they start looking elsewhere?
Well, maybe they'll push them in, like, maybe they'll split up these factions and just do tag teams, and Dragon Lee, Ray can do their own thing and whatnot, and then you just, because Raw needs tag teams for sure, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I agree with you, but
I agree with they need to be pushed.
Part of this may be because I'm not an AEW fan. I don't watch AEW, so I'm not real big on who Penta and Ray are.
And I'm not either. I'm probably like
I just know what I've read on
a little more middle between you guys, right? Like Tim watches AEW, you don't. I have watched. I catch pieces and bits and things. So like I knew who Penta and Ray were, but I can't say that I like knew them. I knew who they were.
Yeah.
Right. But just like what they have done in the ring, like they're so exciting to watch, and so I agree with like the whole overall thing that you were just saying with like the luchas need to be pushed, and could we? Yes, but I feel like the arrival of Penta and Ray is doing nothing but helping prop up the lucha stable in
and
the
I
WWE.
can see that.
And so hopefully over these next couple months we get like a full blown fucking thing, because you're gonna end up with, fucking El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, the Creed brothers, that whole American Made, that whole stable. I feel like you're gonna get something right with like that whole group and that whole group over the course of time. So hopefully, but anyways. Tim, what do you got? We'll go in that order. What's your talking point?
I'm going over to Jay and Gunther. I think I liked your idea where we swapped segments. I think Jay's upset.
They did it backwards.
Yeah, like Gunther coming out all frazzled and everything. I just think it could have been switched around.
Yeah.
And then I did not like Jay coming out like, I'm glad he's locked in for Mania, but he goes from being super sad and then he's yeeting on the table again this week. So it just kind of took me out of the big moment he had last week. I'm still, like I said, last 2 weeks with what they did really drove home the story for me. But this week was just kind of off for me.
I 100% I agree. I think if they would have just not had Jay on this week, I think then it would have been perfect, because Gunther's promo was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was actually, that portion of it was the perfect follow-up to last week, because he didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
It was like a full Jay promo with him adding the facial expression emotions.
Yes.
And then him actually fucking, you could tell he's frazzled. He's now he's a little more unsure and uncertain. I think that was perfect. Yeah. But then Jay coming out totally took me out of it too, and I was like, fuck, they ruined it. Yeah. They the whole build would have been perfect if Jay just wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, just take the week off.
Yeah, it was you did your part last week, let Gunther do the rest of the build, and then boom. Start, because they're match 1 tonight. Yeah. They're the first match tonight. So it's that would have been perfect. But having Jay come out and do that, I was like, fuck.
My thing is, I think Gunther needs to work on his facial expressions during these promos, because during that one promo when Jay was talking about, oh, my brother's in the hospital, I gotta answer my mom and all this, Gunther almost looked apologetic, and I didn't like that.
But I think that was good.
I didn't like him looking apologetic, like, oh man, I didn't.
I don't know.
He's the heel. He shouldn't be apologetic.
See, but in my mind, the way I took it was I didn't see it as apologetic. I saw it as he was real time seeing the switch in Jay.
Yeah.
And I saw it as more of like, that was his facial expressions for me is what led to his promo this week, which was that you're seeing him frazzled. You're seeing him now a little more uncertain because you could tell he was uncomfortable in that promo that Jay gave last week.
Yeah.
That was how I took that. Not necessarily... I could see definitely where you see like the apologetic side of his facial expressions for sure, but that was just the way I took it. Was like I thought
the timing of the expressions. Jay's talking about, oh, I gotta, my mom calls me, I gotta, my brother's in the hospital. She's asking why I didn't protect him, and then they show Gunther, and the expressions that he was making at that point with that timing looked to me as, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess with your family.
But that was
and to me that doesn't want to come across. We want to come across with oh, Jay's dangerous.
I think the focus though of that is slightly misplaced because I feel like the hit of that portion that you're referencing of that promo came from the right before that where Jay was asking Gunther about his mom. He's asking Gunther about, you talk to your mom, you love your mom, like all that stuff. Yeah. And now Gunther's thinking, oh, I might have fucked up. Yeah. That's how I was taking that. Because now Jay's making him now internally reflect on how he would feel if that was him in that position. And now he's like, oh, I might have actually made this worse for myself. That was how I took that. And that was why, like, last week I was just like, I thought Gunther's, with no words, Gunther did just as much to help prop this promo up as Jay did with his emotion and him being able to grab the crowd and shut them up and get them to stop fucking yeeting during the serious moment of it.
That's one of the things that I love about Jay is the emotion that he puts into it.
He's so...
Every time he gets the mic. Is he the best with words? No, but the emotion that comes out of him.
But his ability to stop and then pace back and forth a little bit and just build that physical duress that you feel he's in almost is exactly that. And I'm like, fuck, he's not the best with words, but he doesn't have to be because he is physically one of the best in a promo because it makes you feel what he's feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I took it too. Was just like, it was a oh fuck moment and then that led to that frazzleness. And I think you said it perfect. You don't need Jay on this week. It was last week was perfect. Let Gunther do his frazzleness and leave it in the unknown. We want a lot of build to certain things, but we had that build, and just Gunther being the closeout to that would have been perfect.
My next talking point is I have a question mark at the end of this because I want to know if you guys even noticed the same thing I noticed. And it was kind of in the similar vein as what we were talking about with Ray. We're not sure if Ray's actually hurt or not after last night. On Raw, did anyone else notice Braun Breaker clutch his knee after he took the bump to the outside by the ring, by the announce table?
Yeah, I did.
And I was just like, oh, that didn't look... And then he wasn't in the rest of the match because it was right at the end, right? And so I was like, that was weird. Or I guess not match, it was at the end of the DQ situation, sorry. But, because he wasn't in the match in the first place. But still, I was just like, that was kind of a weird...
I Googled it, and
you did? Okay.
And they said he's fine. Like, it was just to sell the story.
I was so fucking nervous, because I was like, that did not look like that was, like, it looked like that was one of those things where it's like, oh, the camera caught that.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't supposed to be on him. Like, he wasn't supposed to react like that in that moment. Yeah. That was how I took it, so I was just like, fuck, because... that would be a blow to this fucking card.
Yeah.
If they had to drop that fucking match.
Put the TLC match on there.
Oh, yeah. If they had to, that would be the way to fucking, yes, for sure. But, anyways, that was really, that's a small one. I just wanted to throw that out.
Yeah, no kidding.
I do think if they, like, he looked hurt. I agree with you. And I think we'll see a little bit less of Braun Breaker in the middle of the match destroying people for a little while. He'll hit some big spots, but I think we're going to see a lot more action out of the other three than we will out of Braun, because he did not look like he was... It didn't look like a work.
Well, that's why I was like, no. And then with Ray last night, I was like, fuck! This is why they give us shitty episodes right before big pay-per-views. It's a lot of filler for this exact reason.
That's why we haven't seen Cody Rhodes wrestle since Royal Rumble.
damn, you're right.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about it, but yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, that match was brutal, so I don't blame him for not wrestling since.
Yeah, seriously.
I didn't even think of that.
All right, Nate, what else you got? What's your next point?
I had something. Give me a second.
This is why we have our notes. It's the exact reason. Because I tried to do this
Full
one
circle.
of the times and it didn't work.
Full circle moments. Let's talk about full circle moments. 13 years ago, a one CM Punk enters the ring and calls down his enforcers. And I so wish Dean Ambrose was not under contract with AEW.
I know.
Because I think a fatal four-way with those four
It would be epic.
And
That would be
Paul,
such
and Paul
a good
Heyman standing in the
fucking
middle
match.
of the ring going,
I don't
it
know
would be
who to root
amazing.
for.
But it's poetic.
Oh, yeah.
The whole storyline, I'm sure you guys have talked about it on weeks
Why
prior.
we did the cash-in, we did this.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I had the idea to do this cash-in, and then Raw happened, and
Yeah.
then Tim texted me, he was like, dude, you couldn't have picked a more perfect thing for the
literally
cash-in this
was
week. And I
so
was like,
perfect.
yes.
It
was great.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's poetic. It's a good full circle moment for a bunch of guys that deserve that sort of thing, that are kind of coming off of storylines and they're not sure, where you're going next. We got all these other guys, so to bring those three guys together into this awesome story arc, I think is phenomenal.
And I'm gonna just
You're gonna bounce off that?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
bouncing
because then
off.
I'm gonna bounce off
Yeah.
it too. And I was gonna say, if you're gonna go to something else, let me cut you because I have two talking
bouncing.
points that bounce right with
We're
this.
bouncing.
So
I think this week did wonders for Seth Rollins to be tied into this feud more
Absolutely.
for sure. And the topping of it all was the chair shot to the back. That's why I texted you about the cash in this week. But
well, yeah, it was the exact callback. It was perfect.
Yeah.
But his reasoning is just so fitting now. It's like, CM Punk has been known to just leave and everything. Roman is a part-timer. He wants to do the right thing and be that person. SmackDown, he's doing his own pipe bomb, which was incredible. And then just everything he talked about this week was just spot on. And I was just like, damn, chills.
I'm just gonna continue in the same vein of this whole triple threat feud and match coming up tonight. Is an interesting thing. There hasn't been a single point where we have seen CM Punk the last one standing in any of these things leading up to it. Not a single one. We have had him for the brief moment where he was standing on the announce table pointing up at the WrestleMania sign, but then he proceeded to get destroyed by Roman. Seth then got destroyed by Roman, and Roman was the last one standing on that night. That's the only time we've seen Punk actually have an upper hand, if you would even call that an upper hand, because that was just, they were all separated at that point, right? So we haven't seen CM Punk with the upper hand. I know we're eventually going to do our predictions, but I feel like that leads towards I feel like that's leading towards Punk's going to be the victorious person.
20 years ago, I would agree with you, when there was a format and we had that
Yeah.
pat.
Yeah, I know.
Depending
I
on
know.
who came out in a championship match first and who was the last person standing, we could accurately 95% of the time determine who.
But
was
I'm
gonna
not
win the
even-
match.
I'm not even basing my
It's
thought
a lot
off
harder
of
now,
that.
So
Because it is a lot harder now, but I just feel like it's so... and it hasn't been done obviously. That's the thing too. Is I don't think it's been blatantly just they're just squashing Punk right now and all of these things,
well,
right?
he doesn't
Because he has
necessarily
come
get
out to
squashed.
be the savior multiple times, but then Rollins has gotten the upper hand, or
but there's
Roman
been
spears him after he does the save, and then we get the chair shot, right? So it's been one thing where he gets out, and then it's been another thing has led to it, right? He gets the stomp last week on Raw, but then all everyone's talking about is not the fact that Punk got stomped, it's the fact that Rollins didn't stomp Heyman, and now Heyman owes him a favor, right? And then on this last Raw, it's not the fact that Punk got speared after the save. No one's talking about that. It's the fact that the chair shot is so reminiscent to the Shield turn,
Yeah.
right? So there's so many they're doing it in such a good way that's why I'm like, I feel like there's because they're like Punk's almost like the EO Sky in this triple threat to a point, right?
Yeah,
it's not the
yeah,
same exact, but it's a similar concept where it's like
he's there, but the real elephant in the room is Rollins and Roman, because what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get into the match and boom, it's the Shield against CM Punk?
Yeah.
And then do they take that further afterward?
But that's also like, I feel like that's not the biggest storyline here either, but that's what's being pushed.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's why I'm like, because Punk is like easily the wedge.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to push Seth Rollins as the wedge between everybody, but like Punk really is he is the one that has set the stage for this entire fucking thing to happen.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But it's not being pushed that way.
Yeah.
So like I think they've done this fucking phenomenal.
It's not being pushed that way because what bad blood at this point is between Roman and Punk, other than a favor?
Heyman.
This favor
Heyman.
It's Heyman
for Heyman, right? But that didn't come out until
But
week ago.
But bringing it back
history.
to the Shield too.
Yeah,
like
it's
there's that
history. You're
There's that
talking
circling
over
back.
a decade long history here between everybody. That all stems from the fact that Punk or Rollins and Roman got their fucking start, because of Punk.
Yeah.
It all starts and ends with Punk.
And
this entire fucking thing. We wouldn't have a rivalry or a feud between Rollins and Roman without a CM Punk and a Paul Heyman.
Right.
Right? So it's like it all starts and ends with Punk and Heyman.
All I know is, I said it earlier, CM Punk hasn't paid rent in over a year.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. He's been
Living
owning
rent-free
real
in Drew
estate within these
McIntyre's head,
motherfuckers' name.
and now he's
Hot
living
bombs.
rent-free in Seth Rollins' head. And Seth Rollins can come out and go, I don't want to be CM Punk. But when he sits in the middle of the ring and drops his own pipe bomb, kind of looks like you do, bud.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like you want to be
For
there.
sure.
I think Roman saying he doesn't owe anyone favors, he doesn't do that. I think that just kind of brings it back to the Shield, because CM Punk was the one that helped him come up, and then he did help him in War Games. So I think that just ties that all in together. And then last point on this, that hype video. Holy shit!
When I was watching it, I instantly was just like, I'm picturing Tim's pants getting tighter. I am picturing the erection happening. Because I knew you were watching that. I knew you were watching that video, and you were just like, because it
very
was
well done,
fucking fantastic. That is one of the better hype videos we've gotten in the current age of WWE.
Yeah,
like maybe the was it the Punk Drew? No, it was the Punk Seth.
Yeah,
but before the Monday night, the Netflix debut, that one was fucking fire. But the Punk Drew one was fucking fire too. Everything that has to do with Punk has been amazing.
He's and I didn't.
We're not worthy.
I didn't understand it back in high school why Tim was such a CM Punk guy, because he was a great performer, but I wasn't really on the CM Punk train back in high school very much.
Yeah.
I see it.
He's got the full package. He's
got a promo.
He's
he can wrestle. An absolute.
Wrong package. Sorry. I apologize. I'm still thinking of Tim watching the promo. I can't get package out of my mind.
But yeah, he's.
Oh,
I love
no Diddy though.
CM Punk. Randy Orton better watch out. I don't want to change subject.
It's my topic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Actually, it is actually back to Nathan, because
he brought up the full circle.
But then it went to you, then it went to me.
No,
so
that was my talking point.
It's his turn.
Okay, fair enough.
We just talked for a long time.
Fair enough.
I want to talk about how Naomi is getting brought back into Bianca's realm this past week, where
you mean last night?
Well, last night, but no, on Raw, Bianca talks about, I've been distracted about Bianca and Jade.
Yeah, that's...
And I first laughed at that because she has not mentioned that at all, and I was like, I disagree with that. Yeah. But then Naomi coming out on SmackDown really brought it around, and I think that is leading to post-WrestleMania storylines, and I was a big hater on it, saying, why are they just dropping Bianca out of this Jade-Naomi triangle?
Yeah.
but this week did some good by kind of putting it back into her circle of things. And so that might be a distraction into this triple threat match at WrestleMania. So I just want to talk about how I think it's good for what's going on, because Bianca saying she's distracted by it and not talking about it, and then having that SmackDown segment last night did a lot of good for it. So yeah.
I feel like I've just been a naysayer so far this whole episode, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, usually I'm the naysayer.
I know.
Usually I'm the one.
I
going, "What are you
disagree
talking about?"
entirely. I hated that whole part last night. I absolutely fucking hated it because they haven't done anything with it in almost a month, right? Like, they have completely separated the two. So just fucking leave it separated at this point. There's no reason to all of a sudden, the night before fucking WrestleMania happens, I guess it's 2 nights before that match, but still, right, you know what I mean, it's the go home show, now we bring it back out. Yeah, she mentioned it, sure, but that wasn't, like, I didn't think anything of her mentioning it, honestly. It wasn't like I was like, oh, they're gonna lean into this now, but now on Friday, it's like, fuck, now you're bringing it back up the night before. Why could this not have been Naomi should have been fucking stalking Bianca this entire last fucking month if this was how it was going to go. Because then it would have actually played into the fact that Bianca's distracted. I just feel like it was a dropped ball on the creative side of it.
I feel like they dropped the ball right after Elimination Chamber, when you had Bianca and Naomi in the ring talking about it, and Naomi screaming at Bianca. And then Bianca's walking away, and Jade's coming out, and Bianca just walks past.
Yeah, she pretty much gave her like the go fucking get her.
It should have.
And then we didn't see anything.
It should have been
about
the 3 of them in the ring handling business, and it should have been the 3 of them in the ring handling business ever since.
Yeah.
In order to make that make sense.
Yeah.
What happened last
But
night.
then they just literally it felt like they just threw Bianca into this fucking the women's world title match, where, in all honesty, Bianca should have nothing to do with the women's world title match. It should have been those 3. It should have been that situation.
Yeah, Bianca should not have won the Elimination Chamber.
No.
If they were going to play this storyline, she shouldn't have won the Elimination
It should have
Chamber.
been Alexa Bliss,
And
goddammit.
And that could have made the story arc even better, because then who does, Jade comes out, takes Bianca or Naomi out in the Elimination Chamber, Bianca loses, now they're
because now you're distracted.
Yeah, now you're distracted.
That's
now
the
there's heat
thing.
between all 3 of them. And now there's she hurt you, but you came out and distracted me, and I lost.
You can't argue Bianca being distracted all the way up to this point when it happened in front of her, she then turned around and won the fucking Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Agreed. No,
I've been distracted. In what way? You turned around 10 minutes after your best friend turned on your best friend and beat the living shit out of her in front of you, and then you had to sit there and steep with that in a cell for fucking 10 minutes, and then you came out and won the match.
And then the following week, she just walks away from the confrontation.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And then we don't hear anything about it for 3 more weeks.
I agree with you. It doesn't make sense to me.
I'm just saying.
She's in the wrong match at WrestleMania.
I'm just saying it gives direction post WrestleMania, and
you're not wrong with
that. It brings Bianca back into that circle, because the way they were selling it, she has nothing to do with it. But I think last night,
but
helped.
I see what you're saying.
If you're giving her direction post WrestleMania, that's almost saying she's not winning this championship match at WrestleMania. So why
Jade is about to get pushed to the moon, and I could see that being a big storyline, maybe SummerSlam.
I don't know. I'm a mommy boy, so
same. I want there is no one else worthy on the Raw roster of holding the Women's World Championship until Becky Lynch returns.
Amen.
That's how I feel about it. I have Rhea Ripley all the fucking way, and Rhea Ripley versus Alexa Bliss for the title would have been so good. Chef's fucking kiss.
Bianca wins.
Fucked everything up by
wall.
But yeah. All right.
Ryan,
I
what do you
digress. This is just a quick one. I just wanted to fucking give a shout out to this because it's not my banger of the week, so I just wanted to throw this out. Rey Mysterio versus Julius Creed fucking cooked. That match was fantastic. I thought it was phenomenal. I just wanted to say that. That was it.
Ray just defies
and that,
age.
exactly.
Like,
it goes back to what we were saying.
It's insane.
It makes no sense.
It's the stem cells.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. The man is way past retirement age for anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, you want to talk about Randy Orton's longevity.
And to be
Ray was doing it a decade before Randy.
Ray's been doing it since he was 14 years old.
Yeah. And to be doing it in the way he does it it's not fucking Ric Flair giving chops and cutting his forehead and bleeding out for 15 fucking years and in 4-minute matches where he gets super kicked and then for 10 minutes in the ring before he fucking falls over, right? Ray is fucking lucha wrestling still at 50,
and not just lucha
55
wrestling.
Years old.
Not
How fucking
just-
old is he?
Something
That's
like
you.
that.
Just look it
54.
up. Look it up. That's what you're here for.
I got you.
Not just lucha wrestling.
We don't have to have the fact check next
but
week, Tim.
taking massive bumps.
50. Exactly 50.
50. There we go. Not
Taking
mid-50s,
massive
that was wrong.
bumps.
Yeah. Like,
Massive
to the point.
bumps.
Yeah.
For 34
So you might
years,
be
now that
taking
we
out
know
a
his
mania.
age.
Yeah, exactly.
For
To the point
36
where
years.
We're uncertain if he's wrestling tonight or not.
Huge, massive bumps. Weekly.
Yeah.
He's out there every week, showing it out.
He does the fucking, which is like, it's literally just as impressive as The Undertaker doing his fucking dive over the top rope still in the latter years of his career. That's, Ray is still fucking doing, granted he does it over the middle rope because he's only half the height of The Undertaker, so it makes sense, but ratio-wise, it's the same height. When you look at it relatively. Right, so I just wanted to point that out. That match, I thought it was fucking phenomenal. I thought it was great. It was.
I want to talk about the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. I thought I usually am not a big fan of this, but the way they closed it out, it brought us back to Andrade versus Carmelo, which was arguably one of the best feuds on SmackDown last year.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And the way they carried out the finish to that match was incredible. I was marking out on the couch over there going, ooh, ah, like just, it was incredible. It was a good match. And I think Carmelo winning was the right thing. It sucks for Andrade, but Carmelo has taken a lot of L's last week and he's so good in the ring. And I think this was a fitting win for him.
Yeah. I deleted the talking points. I'm actually happy you brought this up because I hate the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah, I do too.
I literally, I think it's a fucking waste of time. And it's kind of a mockery of who Andre the Giant was, to me, in my opinion, because there's nothing that comes from it.
Yes.
Right. Oh, they win and they get this big old fucking Andre the Giant trophy, but they don't get pushed. They don't get a fucking contract. They don't get a... Even to the minimum, make it like, okay, you get a future fucking mid-card title shot. Like, you're either US or, make it kind of like the mini Royal Rumble in that sense, right? Like, Royal Rumble, you win that, you get a world title. Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania, you get to go for the IC or the US. You get your choice. And that could make that whole thing more interesting. But I just feel like it's just like every year we just get this fucking thrown out because, we got to honor Andre somehow. And it's like, that's not the way to fucking honor Andre the Giant. I'm sorry, having Matt fucking Hardy win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal when he was fucking Broken Matt, essentially, like WWE's version of Broken Matt Hardy or whatever the fuck it is. Like, that was like, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To a point, like, Matt had no business winning that fucking match.
Yeah.
And it's just, and there have been multiple people who, Braun Strowman winning last year, if they would have ever done anything with it, cool, but they don't do anything with it. So that's my little pedestal about that in and of itself. To get to what your actual talking point was, I did love there are multiple moments. I thought Ray Phoenix fucking cooked in this entire goddamn thing. I thought he was going to win.
I couldn't stop laughing. That moment when Los Garza went out and then Santos...
looks at him like, what's wrong with you guys?
But then he threw... Santos threw Andrade into Ray Phoenix, knocked Ray Phoenix down, and then Santos puts Andrade on the mat, and then picks Ray Phoenix up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they're
like-
talking,
he's like,
and
"I'm
it's like,
sorry,
you
sorry,"
and
he's
me,
like, shakes
you and
his
me,
hand,
we can handle him, we can do, and he did, and then Ray's like, yeah, and Santos
Turns around
and goes,
and
yeah, and Ray just dumps him.
throws him
Oh my
out.
god, it was so funny.
Yeah.
That
Well, because
cracked me up.
and there's history with that now too over the last couple of weeks because Santos Escobar has kind of been like trying, like to the point where I think it was last week's episode, like you were like, I hope they don't fucking try to make a tag team out of Santos Escobar and Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
Right? Because they kind of were like pushing that idea or like kind of that agenda at least where it was like, what are they trying to build here where Santos Escobar looks like he's fucking trying to like get in good with Ray
Well, but
Phoenix.
he did the same thing with Andrade.
Yeah, that's true.
He did the
That
same
is
thing
true.
there.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's just
Yeah.
kind of
Kinda
character.
his-
You know,
yeah, his
he
character.
doesn't have a lot of faith in Los Garza, so he wants to get
I just
another
feel
big
like
name.
they pushed it even farther with Ray because of
Right.
like they really emphasized the lack of faith in the Los Garzas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like with just within the last two episodes of SmackDown now. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it goes to me, huh?
Well, we skipped me, so I'm gonna go
Do you
because
want-
I remember it.
Yeah,
I don't want to forget.
Yeah, go for it.
April 25th, 425, coming up this Friday.
Aleister Black.
Who?
Aleister Black.
You see, I like to wait, so I don't look things up, so I don't know who this is.
But you do know who it is.
Well,
You know who Aleister Black is. It's just was that his name in WWE?
Yeah.
Oh, what was
Malachi.
Malachi.
Malachi. In AEW.
Malachi Black
Yeah.
was a
Okay.
Was it just Malachi?
Malachi Black.
Yeah, Malachi Black. So Aleister Black. You know who Aleister Black is.
Well, it might have been in the years.
maybe you were. Yeah, maybe you were.
If
you
I
were
saw a
dark at
picture,
that point.
I would recognize.
Okay,
it.
yeah.
But
He's incredible.
the name
He
Aleister
really
Black
is.
does sound familiar
He
now.
is.
He's kind of like
Because
an
I've been
Undertaker
watching this
almost.
promo.
Kind of,
I've been
yeah,
watching
but
this
he-
return
he's like
promo,
a-
and I'm like, are they trying to do the Uncle Howdy thing again?
Oh yeah.
Like, what's
No,
going
I see
on
what,
here,
I see what
so-
you're doing. Yeah,
That's what I thought it was. It's Aleister
Yeah.
Black.
That's
think
what we
Interesting.
think. That's what we think.
I
Yeah.
don't like to look things up when I
'Cause-
see these
And
things.
it happens to always be right before Zelina's matches, which
Oh
is-
yeah, they're married.
they're
You're right.
married.
Oh,
So
that's true.
Right.
Yeah. Holy shit.
But now that
I
Randy
didn't
needs an
think that
opponent
was-
tomorrow, like, what if they?
well, I had that as I was like, oh,
That's-
maybe
we talked
maybe
about that,
he's
too.
one of the opponents, but then it said 425, which is
So yeah, they're not
SmackDown,
gonna
so
promo that
Yeah.
and then have him come out to tomorrow
So it
night.
could be
Unless they want it to
someone
be
else.
just a huge, like, what the hell? They told
Right.
us.
Are you
That's true.
are you gonna Google Aleister Black right now, Nathan?
No.
To see his picture. Oh, okay. I was gonna do it for you so you can know who the fuck we're talking about.
But he's very athletic.
I feel like you would fucking
he's
know.
tall.
Now I will.
I feel like he's fucking like he's like a Ilya Dragunov meets Undertaker. Like if Ilya Dragunov and the Undertaker had a baby,
Yeah, I would agree. He's
right?
he
Because like him and Ilya Dragunov, like we haven't seen him in forever because he's been hurt
Yeah.
and recovering. He's phenomenal too.
God, I
God, I
wonder what
miss
he
him.
would have been in
I
at
know.
WrestleMania.
It would have been a fucking fatal 5-way for the IC probably.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
This guy.
pull it up bigger.
My dude, you are 15 feet from me.
That's right.
I'm look. I got it.
Oh, he has
I got
it.
it.
Okay.
He has it.
I'm here.
But yeah. So he's that's who I hope it is.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it is
Same.
too because that's like we need him back. We need
Yeah.
him back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
WWE under Triple H's
He
creative.
was not used right in
No.
You
AEW.
think
So
he's still
many
gonna have the
fucking
black eye
people.
thing?
Hopefully.
And fuck for that sake, bring
Brody King with you.
no, the girl was that Willow? Who the fuck was that? Who was in his?
Oh,
who was that? The
Julia
AEW
Hart.
chick,
Julia
Julia
Hart.
Hart. Yeah, bring her fucking too. God damn, just for
That would be cool.
visions.
Bring Buddy Ripley too. I love that guy.
Bring the whole state.
Yeah, bring the whole. I love them all.
Bring them all.
Buddy.
All right, this is actually my. I don't know where we're at on numbers wise here, but this is the final thing I have to talk about.
This is your third.
Okay.
Hell
But this is all I have left because we've covered other things that I had on here. So
Are you closing? Are you saying Cody Cena?
yeah,
Can I just say one more?
say one more. Yeah.
I feel like that should just be a segment on the show this week.
Cody Cena.
I know we've talked about it pre-recording, but it's just a slap in the face to what SmackDown has done with the tag team division to announce a TLC match on next SmackDown and not have it on Mania. It's just those three teams have done a lot of work and actually have storyline into their feud that dates back a long ways.
Yeah.
And we're just going to put it on SmackDown. Now,
Naomi and Jade could have been on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naomi and Jade could have never been.
No offense to New Day, no offense to War Raiders, but I have no interest in this feud. And yeah,
Well,
what do you got?
I just want to, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate again, continuing off, because we talked about this a little bit last episode too. And I still stand. I still kind of stand by. I 100% agree with you, but I also I kind of see the other side of it as to what fucking better way to hype up the first SmackDown after Mania than to have this fucking what is going to be the main event. It's going to be the fucking potentially the banger of the week, right? I think it's more of they need New Day and War Raiders on WrestleMania to feel bigger than it is. This match doesn't need WrestleMania. Does that make sense?
It does, but
New Day and War Raiders need WrestleMania.
Right.
but you just
they
talked
don't
about
need
play
Edge highlights.
I know.
This could have been the next one.
I know.
But I
know.
agree.
But I'm just saying, from a creative standpoint and looking at the business wise, could we have this on Mania? Yes. Does it deserve to be on Mania? Absolutely. But if we have the tag title, the Raw tag titles on Raw after Mania, that's going to be 100% lackluster.
Okay.
No one's going to give a flying fuck about that. Everyone's tuning into Mania regardless of the match card.
And
you know what I mean? Where now it's next week, numbers are going to be up on SmackDown because of this fucking TLC match. Because it's three of the best tag teams in the company in this match. You know what I mean? So that's I 100% agree with you that I'm yes, this should fucking be on the card, but I also understand if that is the reasoning behind it, I understand that reasoning.
And some reasoning that could be the reason why they put War Raiders on Mania. They talk about it every week when they're in the ring. The health issues that Eric and I have had.
Agreed.
How many Manias
How much longer do they have? One wrong bump and it could be done.
Have they had a Mania match prior?
They were a fatal 4-way last year, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They were in that. Yeah.
But that was a 6-pack. That was a 6-pack ladder match, wasn't that?
Maybe the year before.
Oh yeah,
I think it was the year before.
Yeah, you're right.
But they don't have a lot left in
German suplexing.
Yeah.
Strowman.
I was gonna say last year they weren't in the 6-pack ladder match.
No, you're right.
Now the feud. What's the feud between the Boo Day and the War Raiders? There's no feud. So
it's just been
should it be there? No, because WrestleMania should showcase the end of a story arc. There's no story arc being told there.
Yeah,
There's no story being told between.
I think they attempted to build that over the last 2 weeks with the match. There
was an attempt.
The
attack
to the necks of both of them and stuff, and that whole thing. And then I think more of the storyline with this is more of just the New Day and that whole turn with the heel turn and just everything, and the fact that what led them to do the heel turn is feeling like they've been looked over for a long time, and they things just haven't fallen their way,
right. And
all that.
I understand that, but Road to WrestleMania.
There's not.
When does Road to WrestleMania start?
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. So a feud that every match on the WrestleMania card should have some sort of feud between that has lasted at least since Elimination Chamber.
At least since Elimination.
At least
6
since
hours
Elimination
of
Chamber.
wrestling every week.
Not 2 weeks before Mania.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree.
The feud, not WrestleMania worthy, but let's get Eric and Ivar another Mania match before they gotta go away.
And again, because that match is not going to hold its own fucking
I
water just
agree
on the
with you.
Raw after Mania.
And that's just another filler match.
Exactly. You put that match on the Raw after Mania, it's the equivalent to Jade and Naomi on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which has been crazy over the last 6 months.
It's not surprising. That match is the absolute, that's going to be where everyone goes and takes a break. They're going to go They're gonna go, bang their wives or whatever.
If plans had come together and I was down there, that's when I would go
This
get
is
my beer.
Jade's shining moment time.
This is
I would
not
go get
Jade's
beer.
shining moment against Naomi at WrestleMania.
I would go get beer. I would go get food during that.
and you know it.
Yeah.
If plans had come together.
The only person that's gonna have a shining moment in this situation might be the referee.
Good job, Mike
Depending
Chioda.
on
No,
which
it actually
referee
might be SmackDown's new ring announcer getting a shot on WrestleMania. That might be it.
You don't like him.
Nobody does. That's what I'm saying. He might be the highlight of the match.
All right, I think we can wrap this up. You got anything else? I think Cody.
I think we're just going
Yeah,
to Cody
no, I'm
Cena.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I was just saying I thought the Cody Cena promo was fire last night. It was absolutely, it was toasted. It was great. The continued just personal barbs back and forth. I actually thought this weirdly enough, I thought this was Cena's best moment on the mic since he's been back. And I also thought it might have been Cody's best moment on the mic in this feud when they've been face to face. It was just, I thought it was that good. And I was actually shocked. I thought it was going to end with the FU because I was like, we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it, right? Or the Attitude Adjustment for all of you that are pussies. It's an FU. Go fuck yourself. And
That's
I
basically
just,
what the move's called.
yeah, exactly. And I thought that we were gonna get it, and it actually did surprise me that Cody reversed it into the Crossroads. I was like, oh fuck, he came out on top again, which again leads me to the thought point, and I know that I'm going back 20 years here where we had the formulas and stuff, but I was like, if it wasn't already kind of a foregone conclusion, I think this definitely cemented Cena's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Cena's walking out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think
with the
Cena's
title.
walking out tomorrow
Yeah.
too, and that's going to lead me into talking on a point later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely thought this segment killed it. The WrestleMania crowd likes to go opposite. They were booing Cody Rhodes, which I thought was shocking. But the cool part was Cody got him back, and you don't see that a lot. Not when the crowd is trying to like hijack the show, but Cody brought him right back to his side, which I thought was just so killer. And then just Cena adding the hints to The Rock. It was subtle hints, and this makes more sense why Rock hasn't been showing it. It's not saying he's on my side or anything, but it was like he was saying, hey, you said no to a guarantee to win at WrestleMania, but now I sold my soul to The Rock, and now I have a fighting chance.
Yeah, they brought a little more context to that whole thing that it felt like it has been, like we said last week, they've done a really good job. Cody specifically has done a really good job of like making you forget about the Rock situation, but then they kind of brought context to it to help make it just fit and just flow better.
And I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
And I would, it's just wild because I don't feel like you expect this from Cody. And I don't know why, but I think Cody is right up there with maybe the second, if not tied for the best person to go toe-to-toe with Cena on the mic.
Yeah.
And I think the
say.
only other person is The Rock, which is kind of ironic.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock Cena vocal fucking back and forth during that 2-year feud might be the best vocal fucking feud back and forth ever, but Cody,
When
you
he
don't
called him
see
a fruity pebble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That whole thing was just fantastic. You just don't see people being able to stand up with Cena on the mic because Cena is that fucking good on the microphone. He has always been.
CM
But
Punk.
Cody, Punk.
CM Punk
Yes,
back in the
Punk,
day.
yes.
Back in the day, Punk went toe to toe with Cena every single time
That's
they
true.
were on promos.
That's true.
CM Punk is phenomenal with mic work.
Punk is phenomenal.
And he always had.
100%. I wouldn't say he's always been, though. I would say he was really good. He hasn't always been phenomenal. He has been the most phenomenal on the mic since he's been back. In wrestling, in general, AEW included. Like, since he came back, I feel like he has been so much better on the mic. That's where, like, now versus Cena, I would love to see that. I hope we get that before
Well,
before this farewell tour is over, because that would be phenomenal back and forth. I feel like Cody tops that though in this feud with
you
with
also
being
gotta
able to stand up to Cena.
you gotta look at the changes in the industry, right? Back when we were in school watching, there was still some kayfabe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there weren't a lot of personal attacks. You didn't have Tiffany Stratton going out on the mic and calling out Charlotte and Andrade's divorce, right?
Well,
You didn't
all
have
three
that.
of Charlotte's divorces.
You didn't have that.
0-3.
And so it was a lot more difficult, I think, for CM Punk. But now, like, yeah, I mean, he's just coming out and talking personal shit with people a lot of the time. So I think that's why you see that change in CM Punk's promo abilities.
I agree, but I also feel like that is what leads to the, like, me leaning more towards Cody in that, is because I feel like at some point in the kayfabe era, promos were almost easier to like stand toe to toe, because you're thinking like you're going at it like CM Punk has the ability to like go out on the personal thing, so does Cody, but so does Cena, and Cena was cooking people during kayfabe. You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm saying is like Cena is like at Cena's level during kayfabe, all he's been able to do is just fucking skyrocket from up here, where he was already that much higher than everybody else on the mic at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is I feel like it's almost harder now to stand toe-to-toe with Cena on the mic, because Cena has so much more in his fucking arsenal to be able to throw at you, and he's so good at just orchestrating all of that and being the architecture of just words in that. Cena has always been like the Eminem on the mic of wrestling. No.
Even Mark Wahlberg on the mic.
No, but I'm saying his ability.
Vanilla Ice on the mic.
No, wrong. That's 100% wrong, because what I'm saying with that is Eminem's ability to just destroy another MC. That's always been seen on the microphone.
Yeah.
Cena has destroyed every single person he has gone toe to toe against. He has not destroyed Cody on the mic. He hasn't.
He hasn't destroyed Punk either, though.
Well, that's fair.
But
I
think,
I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
Regardless,
yes.
whoever, it doesn't matter who the best to go against. I'm just saying,
no,
like,
I think
this
Cody has
whole
done
thing has added so much to this
it's
fucking feud.
yeah.
And
I've been loving this feud ever since the freaking nut shot at Royal Rumble. I was like, oh my god, another full circle moment. John Cena came in as a heel. He's leaving as a heel.
Yeah.
I think that's again poetic, and I've loved the whole feud, just the back and forth between the two of them, and Cody at times, kind of trying to get Cena to snap out of it at times.
Yeah.
On the mic, like, hey, like,
Yeah.
this isn't you, dude.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Yeah.
And Cena playing the entitled, I've been here busting my ass. All you guys do is say John Cena can't. I used to be a Cena guy, man. I used to walk around school with my Hustle, Loyalty, Respect shirt on, my Hustle, Loyalty, Respect freaking armbands. I was a John Cena guy back in the day.
I just want to point out that I have never not been a John Cena guy, and you two both ended up giving me shit about being a John Cena guy because of the 5 moves of doom. I'm just saying, I am the longest running John Cena guy in this. I guess I don't know where Justin.
I mean, I did have the Fear Nothing, Regret Less hoodie with the camera dog on it.
Yeah.
We've all been John Cena fanboys at one
yeah.
point or the other.
I got a Word Life visor.
Yep. Basic thugonomics, man.
Next
Basic
tattoo.
thugonomics.
But yeah, no, I think the promo on Friday was the perfect just cherry on top to go into this fucking match tomorrow, and it's gonna be
I think that
it's gonna be amazing.
That match and the triple threat, CM Punk, Rollins, and Reigns, I think to me are gonna be tied for freaking banger of the PLE.
Yeah.
Those two matches.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I'm excited to see what happens with it.
I'm happy they're separate nights.
Yeah.
Because you know the final boss is coming out at some point. We're gonna see.
I
him.
don't know that, which is crazy, but
I feel like
I'm sure. I'm sure he
we
will, but I don't know that for a fact.
But it's gonna be exciting.
Mama Rhodes.
Mama Rose.
I don't know.
That brings us
Yep.
to the banger of the week.
Let's
Banger of
do
the week.
it.
Speaking of bangers.
Oh, I don't get to choose one? Oh. Me
No.
first.
Well,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
I didn't
Um,
change this slide. I changed the other one.
Ryan.
My bad.
God.
I do this on my
Give
front
him one
periods at
job.
work. Okay. God damn it.
Penta
Hopefully no one from my school listens to this.
Penta versus Finn.
and Finn Balor.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
I love that match. The Braun Breaker coming out again. Carlito's reaction
That was
after
gold.
taking that freaking
That
spear
was
that damn near
gold.
took his head off. That fucking super high spear the week prior. He's looking, and he just bolts through the ring, not around the ring. He goes through the ring.
That was
I
awesome.
love that match. I love the setup
love
for
it.
that feud, for that fatal 4-way. I just yeah, that's my.
They
favorite.
really have done a fantastic job in letting other people get the upper hand and like doing everything. So like just like literally go into this fatal 4-way. Like and it's kind of crazy to think, you know, if you were to go back even just 4 months ago, I would have never thought that Dom had a chance to win the fucking IC.
No kidding.
Dom could fucking win the Intercontinental Championship tomorrow night, and that could be his face turn. that we've
Yeah,
talked
oh,
about. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like
Absolutely. And
Penta,
that's the
they
thing.
could obviously fucking let Penta win this match. They could let Braun continue to fucking keep his streak alive, or they could bring Finn back into relevancy. You know what I mean? Like
any one
they
of
could go
any one of
anywhere
those
with
four
this
could
match.
win this match, and you've got storylines coming out everywhere.
Yeah.
No matter who wins,
Yeah.
you got storylines coming out everywhere.
Yeah, it's
and so it's a perfect
it might
setup.
be one. It might be one of the most intriguing matches.
Yeah.
Of the entire WrestleMania card, because I feel like it's, and obviously when we finish up that fucking 10 o'clock Sunday night and we're like, it's all said and done, I might be eating my words here, but I feel like that's like the number one match where I'm just like, I literally don't have an idea of what the outcome could be.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Like all the other ones I'm like, oh, I have an inkling. Right? I've already said a couple of them.
Because Braun,
Right,
I think Braun's ready for a heavyweight push. I think he is.
Oh, 100%.
So
He's going to be
Absolutely.
James first feud.
I'm
calling
not.
it.
I
I'm
fucking
not
hope
surprised
so.
if they take
Yeah.
the IC off of him to push him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
we've said
deserves
that
it.
Dare I
numerous
say?
times.
Yeah.
Dare I
Leave
say?
the title and go up.
Braun Breaker, and Jey Uso at Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight.
Yeah. Could be.
You know, I think Braun's ready for that push.
Yeah.
Penta's ready for an IC run.
Absolutely.
Dom's
Dom's ready
for an IC run.
Dom's
Dom
never
wins.
held, Dom's
Judgment
never
Day
fucking
breaks
held
up.
singles gold, has he?
North
Yeah,
American
North
title
American
at
title.
NXT.
So
Okay, so
not
on the
not
main
not main
roster.
roster.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he
so
brought
no.
it to the main roster.
He was
and
on the main roster
defended
with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
but
is
that
still
doesn't- but
bullshit
it's not a
because
main
it-
roster title.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
regardless.
He's had tag titles.
I don't count
I
NXT,
hear you.
guys.
I
I'm
hear
sorry.
you.
Should.
I don't.
I
Bullshit
agree.
because they made Solo drop his and like just relinquish it. They let Dom bring it to the main roster. Still mad about that.
Yeah, that's because on the NXT championships on the main roster don't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Bite your tongue over there, Ryan.
If
You're glad
You
you're
know
so
it's
far
true.
away.
You know it's
Lock
true.
it
if
up.
Dom wins,
You know it's true.
if Dom wins, you got a sure breakup of the Judgment Day.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
if
yeah.
Finn wins, I feel like you got a for sure breakup of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
You know, because then Lito and Dom go, well, you're doing the same thing that you kicked Damien out.
No. I think that only happens if Finn wins pinning Dom.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except that,
Then that's Finn winning. Then that's what happens.
So, I mean, there's so
Dom
many ways that
winning
it can
at
go.
all pushes Finn over the edge.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Finn winning over Dom turns everyone else against Finn.
Yeah.
That's where I think that's the only option.
And then we can taint Finn again.
I want the demon back.
We can paint Finn again, and I think that would be great for everybody. So there's storylines that no matter who wins,
Demon
you
versus
can go with
Black.
it, you know. And so I agree that's what's so intriguing about
I'm
it.
hard.
Pants are tight.
I'm
My pants are tight. I'm
I've
thinking
been
about
hard
all the
since we
options.
started this.
support
I
B.
have
Boner.
I'm you ever heard of that medical condition where you just come over and over and over and over again? I don't have it, but
I do
my
now.
pants sure do. Tim, what's your banger of the week?
I don't do
Pull it
this.
together over there.
I don't do this often, but I am going to AEW this week.
You fucking whore.
Will Ospreay versus Takeshita.
It's the week of
There's too
WrestleMania.
much freaking TV. If
There's
I try
so
to add
much.
AEW.
There is.
I can't
There
do
is.
it.
So many shows to watch and so many things that I want to do with my life. If I watched WWE,
5 days in a
everything
row.
WWE, and then also AEW, I would never stop watching wrestling. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't have to.
Oh, I agree, but Will Ospreay Takeshita just completely tore down the house.
Tell
The
us
match
about it. We
was
need to play by play
incredible.
because we didn't watch it.
I can't. I mean, it
We don't have
was
time for that.
it was
Don't
like
give us a play-by-play.
20, 30-minute match,
I'll Google it
and
later.
it was incredible. It just those guys are the future of wrestling, and when it comes to that side of things,
Who it was again?
Will Ospreay and Takeshita.
Anything Will Ospreay is involved in, I am fucking here for. He's amazing. You don't even know who that is, do you?
Don't know.
Like legit.
Has he ever been in the WWE?
No,
No.
he hasn't. Okay. I almost immediately said no, and then I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't know why I'm
Couldn't
answering
handle
that.
the grind.
Who's the one guy in AEW that paints his face?
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin. You know he's from Washington.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like Ab.
and then
Oh yeah,
and then,
Daniel Bryan.
he-
and then
Swerve
Swerve Strickland from Tacoma.
Yep, Swerve Strickland's from Tacoma.
And both of them still,
Wrestle at Defy.
yeah.
We should
Yeah.
go to a Defy show.
We should.
Defy.
We should fucking go to a Defy show.
I was about this far away from Darby at a Seahawks game.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, that dude.
You were at that Seahawks game?
Yeah.
I was at that Seahawks
Yeah,
game.
I was like, wait, who's that weirdo in the pink sweater? And he turned around, like, oh shit,
that
it's
was
Darby.
the Niners game this last
Yeah.
year. Yeah, I was there.
Did you frame the pants you were wearing?
I should have.
'Cause
then I was
know
like,
you
it's
came.
Aubrey.
I know you came.
I did.
We can talk about it later. We can talk about it later.
Everybody
I don't
can.
wanna-
Everybody. Oh yeah, true. Continue.
Finger. Ryan, what do you got?
Oh yeah, it's me.
Bang.
Seth's promo last night.
Yeah,
That's my banger of the
Yeah.
week. It was. It did everything. I mean, obviously Monday
yeah.
with the chair shot stuff, but I feel like just verbally this, you could have not even had the chair shot on Monday. You could have not had the callback to the Shield, and I think this promo would have done everything that we had been like, it's missing for Seth. This promo did it, and the whole time I was like, nobody fucking come out. I don't want to
Yes.
hear anyone's fucking music. This needs to be just what this is,
Yeah.
and that's what we got. And I was just like, oh my god,
It's-
that was fucking fantastic.
And
That
seeing
was Seth Rollins at his fucking peak,
Yeah.
shining on the mic. It was glorious.
Seeing
Yeah.
that was awesome because every week, every promo, every person, doesn't matter who it is, music hits in the middle of the promo.
Yeah,
For,
exactly.
For months.
Yeah.
And being able to see someone start a promo, finish a promo, no one comes out, no one interferes, no one interrupts. They finish it, they walk away. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because promos back in the golden age were what? Mean Gene Okerlund holding the microphone, you cut a promo, you go away.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me that was a
Yeah, brother.
Let me tell you something, Okogie.
Coffee is
Um,
cream of the crop.
What?
This,
Yeah,
this is what
Did you just say coffee?
he did. Cup of coffee.
Cup of
coffee in the morning.
Bone soul.
Yeah, no, it's that this was the week Seth needed, and it,
It was
really
it was great.
it was
really
amazing.
Alrighty, well, that brings us to the belts question of the week here. I posed this one. It's a two-parter, so stick with us here. It said, with it being WrestleMania weekend, all right, we always have wrestlers after WrestleMania, they take time off for a whatever extent of time that they take time off for. Not counting Roman Reigns and Logan Paul, because we both know they're going to disappear for some certain amount of time after WrestleMania because they can't handle it. Sorry, here, let me sit cross-legged. Here, it's my own pipe bomb.
I don't consider Logan Paul a wrestler. I consider him a celebrity that makes appearances.
Fair enough.
No different than David Arquette.
That's its own pipe bomb. But that being said, you can't use either of those two in this answer.
Yeah.
That's why I said it. Who do you think could benefit the most, character-wise, storyline-wise, push-wise, fallback-wise even, whatever it is, with that time off? You don't need to give a time frame, nothing necessarily, but I'm just saying, like, who do you think could benefit the most from taking and extended leave?
Because it's my birthday, I will answer first.
Yes.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has been at it almost twice a week for a year, and not storyline driven or anything like that. I think just personally, the man needs some time at home, and so I think Cody Rhodes, and that's why I said that the John Cena thing earlier will lead me into talking point later. I think John Cena wins the title.
Yeah.
Surpasses Ric Flair.
Yep.
He gets his little spot in history that he wants so bad that honestly he deserves. I think he does.
Yeah.
I think John Cena deserves it. He's been the face of the company for so long.
He's been arguably the greatest character in the history
he has.
of the
he
business.
absolutely has.
So,
As much as I hated that,
like,
that 10-year time frame where every freaking PLE seemed like it was John Cena versus Batista. As much as I hated that time, John Cena
especially
has been phenomenal.
with Cena's inability to take the Batista bomb.
Yeah. just the stills of John Cena.
Yeah. It always seemed like he landed on his tailbone because he was afraid to go straight to his back, right? Same with the Rock Bottom, same with the Spear, Edge, the Rock, Batista.
So, but I think John Cena wins. I think we see Cody Rhodes step away for a couple months.
Yep.
I don't think he steps away that long. The man's got too much passion, so I don't think he's gone for 6 months.
Yeah.
I think he comes back SummerSlam time frame. Maybe Money in the Bank time frame, but I think Cody Rhodes could benefit the most from some time off.
Because of your answer, I'm leapfrogging Tim here because I had the same answer.
Mm-hmm.
I also said Cody, and I was actually shocked that you said Cody because I am almost 100% positive Tim did not say Cody.
I did not.
Yeah. Okay.
But I agree with
so
you guys. It didn't even cross my mind.
I'm shocked that you said Cody just because of how prominent and how important he is and has been to the WWE since he returned, and because of the passion and all of that. But I'm going less personal wise, and I'm going more story creative wise on it with the reason why I said Cody, and I think Cody would benefit from it the most because he has been here day in, day out. Right,
and not just on SmackDown. He's been on Raw.
No, he's been on
the
Raw.
time for the
he's
last
on
year.
house shows.
Yeah.
He's doing everything.
He's doing
right?
everything, and all the media appearances.
Yeah,
and
it's for me the reason why I said this. I can't pull the microphone out any farther because then that causes the shelf to go. Anywho, the reason I picked Cody for this is because I think we've gotten so little of Cena on the first 4 months of his farewell tour, that he doesn't have a choice but to win the title and be prominent, right? Be a recurring thing now. He wins the title, you gotta be there more often than every 3 fucking weeks in just a vocal promo, right? You're gonna have to defend it, you're gonna have to do all this. I think the best way to serve both of these two dudes is let Cody step back for a few. Let people, and I know this is going to sound crazy and it's going to be hard to think about, but let people kind of forget about Cody for a minute. Let Cena continue this fucking heel turn of the fucking century, right? Because we have never in the history of wrestling has a heel turn like Cena's ever happened. Because nobody in the history of wrestling has carried... No.
One time.
Who?
Hulk Hogan, WCW.
Yeah.
One time.
The NWO.
But...
When was that?
1996, Bash at the Beach.
Yeah.
When did Hogan debut?
1979. I'll check it.
But the difference is Hogan started in the WWF, I believe, as a babyface. So the world never knew Hulk Hogan as a heel. We had John Cena heel when he first came out. When he came out with B-Squared, Dr. Thugonomics, he was a heel. Brief time period.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long. But
It quickly became an anti-hero.
He quickly became an anti-hero. We've talked about this before, that Cena's heel run originally is
It's forgettable.
It's nothing. It was literally nothing. It was the prototype, and then it was that, and it was so minuscule that it barely fucking registers.
We didn't get
almost got him fired.
We didn't get
It did, like literally. Not the Doctor of Thugonomics.
No, right before
the Doctor of Thugonomics saved his career.
Oh yeah,
the prototype almost.
The prototype almost got him fired. Yes, but
what
what I'm saying is, even so, what did you say? You looked it up when Hogan debuted in the WWF
1983. It was Rocky 3.
So never
he was in Rocky 3 before he was in before
he got
WWF.
he got fired because he was in Rocky 3. Vince Sr. was like, "Nah, dog, you're a wrestler," and he's like,
regardless. This just further proves my point. Never in the history of this business have we had what we have right now. Cena did a heel turn after being face for 20 fucking years. That's never happened before. You have never had a character be that same fucking character for that long.
Yeah.
It's never happened. Hogan might be the closest, sure, but even then, he wasn't in the business for 20 years before he turned heel.
He was.
but also he was.
No, he was not.
He was. Look,
He was not in the business in 1976.
You gotta remember.
He turned heel in 1996.
You gotta
He
remember.
was a heel before that too.
Wrestling prior to 1983, 84, wrestling was not televised
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
countrywide.
But
He was wrestling prior to that.
Yeah.
But he was always a face.
no, he was a heel
No, he
before
was a
he
heel.
turned heel
His
in
manager was
WCW.
Classy Freddie Blassie.
He was heel before this. That's what I'm saying. That's facts. That it is what it is. Cena is the longest running face character in the history of wrestling. To then turn heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the longest running face is definitely like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat or Ray.
Yeah, but
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Ray was heel, but WCW doesn't count.
We just counted it for Hogan.
But either way,
But
if
yeah,
we
but-
don't
but
count
anyway.
this,
Hogan's heel turn was much bigger than Ray coming in as a heel.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Hogan's heel turn was the beginning of the Monday Night War. It was the beginning of
We-
the almost downfall of
Regardless,
WCW.
we're getting
It
very
was-
far off
It
track
was
here.
what brought DX
Guys,
in.
What are we even talking about?
We're so far off track. What I'm saying is
Cody Rhodes needs time off.
Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes would benefit the most because what you get out of this is Cena now gets to fucking solidify this heel turn that he hasn't had the actual opportunity to do yet. It's just been based off of verbal fucking promos. You get to now let him wreak havoc and run wild on the fucking roster as a heel, doing actual heel things,
If
cheating to win, doing dirty fucking tactics, all sorts of shit, to then have Cody Rhodes come back in a SummerSlam promo to reclaim the title. That's where Cody Rhodes benefits the most.
I'm gonna
it would be the biggest pop of Cody's career.
I'm going to add an if John Cena shows up more than once every 3 weeks
No, that's
and
a
does
part of
more
what
than
I'm
cut
saying.
promos,
He's
he's got to actually do some shit.
I already said this. That's a part of what my whole thing here is. Cena winning the title demands him now to be here.
I mean, he's
Dem-
done with Peacemaker season 2, so
demands him to now be here. That leads to the rest of what I said. Tim, what's your banger of the week? Or sorry, question. What?
I'll
the
keep it
first part?
short because holy smokes, that went everywhere. I'm saying Finn Balor. I think the guy needs to take time away to hopefully regroup and come back and be able to be the Demon again. Like it's just he needs time because I love the guy, but it's just there's no direction for him right now.
And what
other
better
than-
way to initiate that than Dominic Mysterio winning the IC Championship?
Mm-hmm. I think it would benefit his character so much and to come back a bigger deal than he is right now because he doesn't feel like what he should be.
How
He
fucking
really
poetic
doesn't.
would it be if like Finn hits the coup de grace on somebody and then like
Pushes him out
he
of the
hits
ring.
he hits Penta with the coup de grace and then Braun Breaker's like getting into the ring and Finn like clotheslines him over, but takes himself out, and then Dom just gets up, hits the frog splash, and wins it off, like, taking advantage of Finn's move. And then that's what leads to that. That would be so fucking cool.
That would be good.
That would be awesome.
All right, second part of this question, which should not last nearly as long as the first part, is Mania also serves as a time for long absentees to make their return in, like, the week post WrestleMania, right? Usually, I feel like we usually have some form of return on either Raw or SmackDown, or maybe both, in the week after WrestleMania. Who do you guys think is going to be the biggest post-Mania return?
There's been rumblings. There's been grumblings. Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch returns
Ooh,
in
that's
the
a
very
good
near
one.
future.
You can tell we're brothers. That's also my answer.
Would you like my runner-up?
That's also my answer. I also wrote Becky Lynch, but I've been rooting for Becky to return for fucking ever.
I thought she was coming back Netflix.
Me too.
I thought it was
Netflix.
Netflix, and then I was like, all right, it's not Netflix, it's Rumble. That was my prediction at the Rumble.
But
I
there's-
thought she was going to come out when Bianca or when Jade attacked fucking Naomi and took her out of the cell, or the Elimination Chamber. I was like, me and Tim were both like, Becky could come out right now and fill her place, and it didn't happen. It was like, fuck!
There's two things that I think could make that happen, and I think could be real good storylines. One, Rhea Ripley wins the women's world title.
Yep.
Becky Lynch comes back, restart the feud.
Oh, it's a beautiful feud.
It's beautiful. Two, Charlotte Flair wins the women's WWE.
No!
Boo.
Which
Sorry.
no,
Nobody in the WWE
Sorry.
universe wants,
I apologize,
me included,
for my outburst.
but Charlotte Flair
Screw
wins.
that man.
You will also have a good storyline there with Becky.
Yeah, it
does.
So
It
I
does.
feel like
I hate that
feel
you're
like
right.
within the next
But you're
14
wrong.
days, we're gonna get a Becky Lynch return.
I fucking hope so. All right, Timmy, who do you think's return?
I say the Wyatt Six with Alexa Bliss, and they need to wreak havoc. They need to do what they did when they
Yeah.
first debuted on Raw. Make it that impactful because they've been gone away.
And then not get into a feud with the Final Testament
Yes,
and
please
carrying
no.
Cross.
I mean, half of them are gone anyways. But yeah, no, I just think it's time for them to come back. You bring in these great characters, and then it's just time.
Yeah.
It's time for it.
I agree. That brings us to Blockbusters!
Nice harmonization.
Damn, that was solid, guys. All around. And
Really?
we all ended at the exact same time.
yeah.
I love when we
Well
all come together.
It was good.
First up on the movie docket, we got The Life of Chuck. I posed this one here. It's not really a question. I don't know why I said posed it, but the synopsis of The Life of Chuck is: the film tells the extraordinary story of an ordinary man. This unforgettable genre-bending tale celebrates the life of Charles Chuck Krantz as he experiences the wonder of love, the heartbreak of loss, and the multitudes contained in all of us. The cast is Tom Hiddleston, Ejiofor. Sorry, Tim. That's a fact check for you. How to fucking pronounce his name. Karen Gillan, Mark Hamill, Matthew Lillard, and Jacob Tremblay. The release date of this is June 6, 2025 in theaters.
On, in, around.
So
Yeah.
two things that I love about this movie.
Stephen
Mark
King.
Hamill.
Oh,
Three things that I love about this movie. Mark Hamill.
Because at first you didn't realize it was Mark Hamill.
I did.
I did not.
Oh, you did? Like,
Oh yeah.
immediately?
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't.
I am
Well, so here,
a
I-
massive
actually-
Star Wars
Let
fan.
me. Yeah, that's.
I
fair. That is
recognize
fair.
Luke
Yeah, that is
Skywalker
true.
anywhere.
But then here's my thing. The voice at first, I was like, oh, I know that voice. But then it showed the person talking, and I was like, who the fuck is that?
So-
and
so-
then I read, I was like, oh fuck, that was Mark Hamill. God damn.
So Mark Hamill, not done a lot of acting since the original Star Wars trilogy. Not a lot of
he
live
played Bert
action
Kreischer's
acting.
father in The Machine.
Yeah. He played. He's been in a couple things. He was
That's a great
in.
movie.
He was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back,
Yeah.
the sequel trilogy. He hasn't done a lot of live action acting. I love Mark Hamill in live
He's
action
done a lot
acting.
of theater, actually.
He is
lot of Broadway
a
stuff.
William Shatner-esque actor, bit of an over actor.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. Now he also, majority of the time, over the last 40 years, has done voice acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Ton
is
of voice actors.
one of the most prolific
Voice actors of all time.
voice actors in Batman cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
He plays the Joker most of the time.
Yeah.
I love Mark Hamill. Matthew Lillard also.
Fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
Great actor. Avid Dungeons and Dragons player. I love that about him. So those two in the movie makes me want to see the movie. Also, third point, Stephen King drama.
Yeah. I love
You don't get a lot of Stephen King dramas.
It's not even just a Stephen King drama. It's a multi-genre Stephen King thing that's
Yeah.
not a horror film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And-
That's
and I love that.
book, I guess. Is how you really should say that, because it's based off of the life.
And
the book.
The
Stephen
Smart,
King book is what this is based
the
off.
Smart brothers have read a
Yeah.
lot of Stephen King because Mom was a big Stephen King fan. So we've read a lot of Stephen King.
Two
at
of the
least-
three Smart brothers.
You have. Yeah.
I'm not a big
Okay,
reader.
I assumed you had read.
I don't
at
read a
least
lot
few,
of things. I read James Patterson. That's about as far as I go.
but I've
tried.
never read anything other than Stephen King horror.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to have some Stephen King drama in my life, I like that.
I like the
Like
Green
Like
That's
I
a
literally
long
went
time
into
to-
I literally went into watching this trailer, waiting for the oh fuck, and it never came in that, at least in that context, right? And then I was like reading about it after. I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is a Stephen King book that's not a horror
Yeah.
situation. I was like,
Like The Green
whoa.
Mile.
The Green Mile.
Shawshank.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that seeing those pop up, I was just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm in, because it's been a long time since
Long
a Stephen King drama.
The Green Mile would have been the last, I think, fucking movie made that wasn't a horror movie of one of his books.
I
The
believe
Shawshank
you're
came
right.
out before The Green Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So I think it
there
might have been The
also-
Green Mile.
There also haven't been a lot of Stephen King.
There's actually been a ton.
since The Green Mile.
There's been a ton of Stephen King books turned into movies since The Green Mile. Is that what you were saying? A ton.
You got it.
The Netflix has done multiple.
Okay.
Yeah, Netflix has done multiple, but they're all horror. That's what I'm saying is that they're all horror things. So that's why when I was watching this, I was like, oh, Tom Hiddleston in a fucking horror movie? Sweet, hell yeah! And I'm watching, I'm like, this looks fantastic. Where's the horror? There's no horror. What the fuck? I'm still super intrigued.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So yeah,
just-
I'm fucking stoked.
it looks beautifully shot. I'm here for it.
There's apparently in the film like a 7 or 8 minute like dance number
oh wow.
by Tom Hiddleston too.
Dang.
Yeah,
That I'm like, that's a long, like you think about like dancing. You're dancing to a song. Most songs are 2:30 to 3 minutes long, maybe pushing 4 minutes. A 7-minute fucking dance number. That's a long
Well,
ass
just
fucking
from our backyard wrestling days, I mean, you can consider a wrestling match a dance.
Yeah, for sure.
And how often did we go past
They
4
typically
minutes? Not very.
Not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Imagine lasting in bed for longer. It's fucking insane. Next movie. What do we got? Shark Corner. Speaking of, I'm gonna make a weird, not really a weird comparison. I think it's actually fucking spot on. I think it's on the nose. We're just talking Stephen King. I'm gonna make a comparison here. The synopsis of Shark Corner. You probably know where I'm going.
I know.
The synopsis of Shark Corner is the film follows Josh, a troubled man increasingly consumed by the fatal car crashes in front of his house. As Josh's obsession takes hold, he begins to spiral, placing his wife and son in jeopardy and setting in motion a series of events that threaten to permanently break the family apart. The cast is Colby Smulders from How I Met Your Mother as Robin. She's fantastic. She's also in almost all of the Avengers movies.
She's in a few.
Yeah. Anyways, and Ben Foster, who is a fantastic fucking actor.
Been a minute since seeing him.
I know. I was so stoked when I saw this. Hostage is like the number one that sticks out for me with him.
Dog,
Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor.
Oh yeah.
There's
And
another
the
one.
Mechanic and the Mechanic 2.
There's another one with Marky Mark that he's with too, but I can't remember the name. Anyways, the release date is May 9th, 2025, and it will be limited release in theaters, and it will be on video on demand. The comparison I want to make is...
Before you start that,
Yes.
if you would have put one of two names up, I would have said absolutely, and go ahead with your statement, and then I'll say the other one.
One of two. Wait, what do you mean?
Go ahead with what you were gonna say. The comparison.
Okay. Watching the trailer for this I felt like I was like in almost like a modern day new take on The Shining.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It felt so fucking similar to like the dad just fucking like something happens and all the dad's just losing his shit and fucking just going batshit crazy.
And that's if they had put from Stephen King
on
it, I would have believed it.
Oh, absolutely.
The other name is if they would have put from M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes, 100%.
I
get what you're saying.
It's that kind of mental almost thriller.
Yeah, it's a psychological thriller. That's what I think that's what this is.
You see from that.
Yeah.
And oh my God, when I watched that trailer, I was like,
we have covered.
I'm not a theater guy, so I won't go be seeing any of these movies in the theater.
Yeah,
I will wait until they're available for free on a streaming service. But
yeah,
I can make myself $50 worth of snacks. So I'm not going to spend that money sitting in a theater with people and the smell.
We have a pretty fucking. It's pretty much a running theme on the show to where we cover horror movies almost every fucking episode.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like I don't feel like you would, if you weren't involved in this world that we're kind of in, where we're like researching and finding shit all the time, you might not think like horror movies might be the leading fucking genre of releases. There's so many fucking horror movies compared to anything else.
Everything else is going straight to
VOD, streaming and stuff. This, out of everything we've covered, might be the one that I'm like the most excited to fucking see.
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, and we are theater. Like we love going to the fucking theater and having that experience. But it's just it looks so fucking intensely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Because like especially, I know you're married. You don't have kids though, right?
No.
Okay, so I'm the only one in the boat here that like it feels like I'm on a much more relatable plane with just being able to be like fucking like I have a wife and I have a kid, and that's obviously the kid in the movie's older, but still like regardless, it's just like I can relate to it a lot more, and so I'm just like watching it, I'm like fuck, that seems so intense, and I'm so fucking here for it. I'm so excited for this. It looks great.
Yeah, it's just the hero complex in this guy that it looks like it's diving into is just insane.
But also, hero complex. Okay.
Because I feel like...
it took me a second because I didn't read into it like a hero complex. I read into it like he's like fucking going crazy. But now I see what you're fucking saying.
Because in the trailer, and I'm just going to hit the trailer. Because you can access it, so it's
I didn't even think...
He's making these things happen, and then he's trying to help.
The way I took it was the first one was real. I feel like the first accident happened on accident, but then he was a part of fixing or helping in the scenario.
And then he got obsessed with that helping.
Feeling. Yeah.
That is not how I took this at all.
I didn't when I watched the trailer, but now that he's saying
it, blew my mind with that because I took this as he's obsessed with getting obsessed with the death in their front yard, and he's wanting to recreate it.
Yeah.
Like he's wanting to recreate that adrenaline of that happening. Yeah. That's how I took it. I didn't even take it like that. So when you said that, I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
All right. Excited for that one.
What do we got next?
up?
California King. I put this down. Synopsis. Perry, a mattress store manager, hatches a wild plan to impress the girl of his dreams, but his efforts go off the rails when his fake kidnapping of her brother gets more complicated than he expected. Cast is Joe McHale, Victoria Justice, Jimmy Tatro, and Travis Bennett. Release date is 4/25/25, so this week. And the platform is, again, select theaters and video on demand. Speaking of Alpha Dog, this feels like a comedy version of Alpha Dog.
This to me feels like 30 minutes or less.
Oh yeah,
Or, what's the one with Donald
Which
Faison?
kind of was a comedy Alpha Dogs.
What's the one with Donald Faison where he's the UPS driver?
Oh fuck.
Oh.
Producer.
I'll Google it.
Donald Faison. He's a UPS driver. It's comedy, similar kind of situation.
I
Except
know
for
exactly
think
what
it's
the
theft,
fuck
not
you're talking
kidnapping.
about too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This
Next Day Air.
Yes, next day.
Yeah, Next Day Air.
So
That's
this
it, yeah.
feels like those two movies, but also
Horrible Bosses 2.
Horrible Boss.
That's
what it feels
Yeah. Good
With-
fucking
with-
pull.
So Alpha Dog, but comedy, same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I love Joel McHale.
He's fantastic.
Um,
Victoria Justice is phenomenal too. Timmy
uh,
Tatrob's is
yep.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It feels like it's gonna be a real good comedy, kind of a throwback to early 2000s comedy that we loved back in the day.
And we've been talking a lot about that recently too on
sure
the
have.
podcast. Is just
Yeah.
a return to form. You
Yeah.
know, just it's slowly coming back. And
Yeah, because
It
like
did-
we talked about the
Naked Gun and-
last week
and then,
Wait, I can't.
the fucking Nick Kroll movie. Well, I'm
Oh, yeah,
forgetting the name of
it's-
it. The I Don't Know You or whatever it was.
yeah,
It
was
feels
fucking
to me like
Fucking man.
with things like this, cinema fans have spoken and people are listening, and we're tired of the woke shit and the political shit that's been going on in cinema. And
Well, that's the type of shit.
we're just getting more just fucking flat out comedy. It doesn't matter what.
regardless of like the side of anything that you're on.
Yeah.
The Me Too movement and this like the impact that had on everything is like the pushing force of what has led to us not getting these types of comedies
Yeah. And I
over
feel
the
like-
last
like
decade
they're
because
bucking
of
that
the implications of all
with we're gonna kidnap a guy so that a guy can get with a girl.
of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
and it's just comedy. And
Yeah.
help me with names. Jimmy Tatro. Which one is that?
Jimmy Ted, he was the other 22 Jump Street. Okay, Kurt Russell's son
Okay.
in it.
Yep.
He was the other buddy.
Oh, he was Zook.
Yeah, he was the other. He was Zook. He was
let me
the
just
one
make
that
sure I
had
got
the
the face.
bazooka.
I love
tattoo
that
on
movie.
his
keep you around.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're here.
I love that
That's
movie.
exactly why.
Yeah. So
First
him-
time this episode, you've done your job off the pad, but
Unfortunately, my phone died, so.
that was a
fact.
sick brain pull then.
Fun fact: if you haven't watched it, get on Netflix. If it's still on there, American Graffiti.
Yeah.
My good buddy Caleb,
Yeah.
his sister is in that movie.
Oh,
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, she's also in, and I am going to go off topic here. The series that was the making of The Godfather with Miles Teller in it. Anybody?
I know what you're talking about, but I cannot remember the
She's
name
in
of
that
it.
also.
So cool. Wow, cool.
Her name. I'm gonna give a shout out. Haley Asink is her name.
That's cool.
She,
That's Mac and Cheese's aunt.
that's Mac and Cheese's aunt. Yep.
Anyways.
really excited for this.
Mac and
one.
Cheese is
It
two
just-
separate people.
Yeah.
And it
That
doesn't
was
look
great.
like over the top budget or anything, but that makes it I think that makes the movie more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jumping over to series, Murderbot. Synopsis: in a high-tech future, a rogue security robot secretly gains free will to stay hidden. It reluctantly joins a new mission protecting scientists on a dangerous planet, even though it just wants to binge soap operas. Cast: Alexander Skarsgård. Release date is coming on May 16th on Apple TV Plus.
Can I just jump out here and
Yeah,
just
jump
say
out.
something real quick to preface this? So before you put this on here, I had seen on what the sites I usually use for researching stuff for this show. I had seen stuff about this, but everything I saw was just like a picture of Alexander Skarsgård as this, and then the name of it. I didn't see any information about it. It just said Murderbot and him and in the suit and stuff, and I was like, this is essentially like a fucking RoboCop ripoff. It's kind of what I was thinking. So I just was like, all right, I'm not fucking... And you put it on, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then I watched the trailer, and I was like, this is fucking hilarious. This is not in any way, shape, or form what I thought this was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought this was like a serious, like, drama fucking type of thing. I didn't know. I thought it was a movie. It's a show, right?
It's a
show. I didn't
yeah.
know. I didn't realize it was a show. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is like a fucking comedy, like almost a spoof type of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm in. This looks fucking fantastic. I'm stoked for this.
Yeah, I too thought the same thing. I kept on seeing Murder Brats pop up on my thing. And
I
was
judged the book by its cover.
Yeah.
And
Look, all I know
that's
is
the learning from
But
this.
we got
if you
Skarsgård family.
if you put the name Skarsgård on something, I'm fucking watching it.
That's fair.
That's true.
Stellan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Classics.
Yeah.
To include the MCU, Pirates of the Caribbean, freaking Good Will Hunting, Stellan Skarsgård, Gustav Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Anybody?
No.
Floki, the Vikings.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Alexander Skarsgård, True Blood.
Yep.
Northman.
Bill.
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill
It.
fucking Christ.
If
Yeah,
it's got
lots.
Skarsgård attached to it, I'm fucking
That's
hooked,
a good
man.
fucking
That
point.
whole family,
The family are...
phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Not
Fucking
realize
phenomenal.
there were so many of them.
Not
Until
only
right
were
now.
they just pumping out kids, but goddamn, they just pump out bangers after bangers after bangers.
Bangers. Like Sheamus is up in this.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Fred.
Fred!
Over to Fred.
Which is our follow-ups, rumors, and early development segment. We talked about this last weekend.
Yes, we did.
On our last episode, but Eddington, we got the trailer for it.
Yep.
Which was perfect timing because we literally just talked about this, and we were both so pretty excited about just the synopsis of it and the cast, and then we got the trailer, and I don't know about you. Obviously, we've never talked about this, Nathan, but
No.
we talked about this last weekend. I don't know about you, Tim, but the trailer for this kind of put this in a completely different light than I was anticipating.
Oh yeah.
I knew it was going to be kind of wild with the COVID whole like thing, but this was like seems so politically driven
Yeah.
in different aspects, right?
This
Like that,
is-
it's not just like one side of a political driven thing. It's like they're hitting like everything.
This is
I
another
was like,
one of those names
whoa.
that you put on something, and I'm gonna watch it. Ari Aster,
I was gonna say Midsommar.
absolutely. Yeah.
Midsommar,
Every fucking thing he's done.
Bo is
pretty much.
Afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But
And,
then
then
the
you
cast.
throw Joaquin Phoenix in there.
Joaquin Phoenix, you
Yeah.
get fucking Pedro Pascal, you
Yeah.
get Emma Stone, you
Yep.
get Austin Butler. Like, and this is what led to the fact check of Pedro Pascal being an Oscar nominee because every other main character in this has won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And that's where we were like, has Pedro Pascal ever won? I don't think he's won. Has he ever been nominated? And that's what led to that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So this, and then we got the trailer for it, and holy shit.
This
looks
you
just
know
like-
it's gonna
Trailer
be
well done too.
You know it's gonna be
Anxiety.
a real
Like-
good psychological
Yeah, it's gonna be
situation
fucking
going on
wild.
because it's Ari Aster, and that's
Mhm.
all Ari Aster does.
Exactly.
Psychological shit. So it looks
Very.
as short
I
as the
didn't
trailer
even-
was, and as little
Excellent
detail as you
clip
got,
one, too, yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
That's gonna be great.
When you posted last.
I mean,
week,
if you haven't seen Bo is Afraid, it's you gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realize Ari Aster was
Yeah.
part of it when you posted last week. So I saw that, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real.
Yeah.
A24 coming up again.
Yep.
They're coming through.
We also got a new
Oh yes.
the trailer. Like we've gotten like the teaser,
Yeah.
right? But they finally dropped the actual
Right.
Comic-Con trailer,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
not Comic-Con.
Yeah. No,
Was it
because
Comic-Con?
you. Or no.
Not Comic-Con. CinemaCon.
CinemaCon.
I think it was CinemaCon. Yeah, that happened like not last weekend, but the weekend before, or maybe the week before. I know it spans over the course of days, but we talked about it. I put it on here, and I was like, "Fuck! I wish they would just fucking like." If you're gonna post it at a fucking festival thing type like that, just fucking put it online so everybody can see it. So we're not getting articles about what happened in the trailer. Just show me the fucking trailer. And then they post it 2 weeks later. Like,
Yeah.
just fucking post it. Goddamn. But anyways, we got it.
I'm even
Fuck.
more excited.
Oh
for
my
this.
God.
Holy hell.
This
Pedro
looks
Pascal.
the trailer. Just the fucking trailer alone rectifies everything that was wrong with all four if you count the fucking thing that never actually came to fruition, like that actually got put out. All 4 live action fucking movies.
Yeah.
This looks so fucking good.
Joseph Quinn.
phenomenal choice for him.
A great actor. Freaking Stranger Things.
Yeah.
As
Quiet Place Day 1.
Quiet Place Day 1. Gladiator 2.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal actor. Pedro Pascal is going to draw people that were not Marvel fans into
100%.
it.
And Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards is a brand new fucking take on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
While part of
brand new
me
take.
wishes that they had gone with the
Fan cast of John Krasinski.
the John Krasinski, Reed Richards, with the multiverse,
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're not gonna see John Krasinski, Reed Richards at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there was so much fan outcry for John Krasinski, so
Yeah.
I feel like we'll see John Krasinski at some point as Reed Richards, but Pedro Pascal. I prior to watching the trailer, I did not see Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. After the trailer, I absolutely can't see anybody else.
And I love bouncing off of that just with the character. I love that they saved. I know we're gonna get another trailer before the movie, probably 2 more trailers. I feel like they usually do 3.
I
Like
heard
the
a
third.
new one's coming out with Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
release.
I was gonna say I feel like the 3rd trailer is usually the final trailer. So I feel like the one that we just got is truly the first.
Yeah.
I feel like everything else has been like the teaser, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the one that we just got is like the actual first full trailer. We're probably gonna get 2 more. But I love that in all of the little other glimpses of stuff that we have gotten was they had showed everybody else's powers but Reed Richards, and then we still only got a single scene glimpse of him with the Mr. Fantastic stretching abilities.
Yeah.
when he's fucking
And it
catching rocks and shit.
looks good.
Yeah.
Like it
does.
actually
does.
looks good. And I know that was a big critique from like the online community of the previous live visuals that we've gotten from this, is that they're like hiding that because like people are worried about it. And I think hopefully this will fix that because it looked great. Like I thought
they
it
did a
looked
bad
good.
job in the prior iterations of the Fantastic Four with Reed Richards' stretching ability.
I don't
We
think
didn't-
so
we didn't
either.
get a
When
lot
you
of it.
consider that the first one came out in 2004 or 5.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot
I think it was
of
5
it
and then
with
Silver
Miles
Surfer came out in
Teller. We
07.
didn't get a lot.
Well, that movie is its own fucking just fire fuck in itself.
Yeah,
The whole thing, that was
but with
not good.
I'm gonna butcher his name, Ewan Gruffudd, in the first Fantastic Four movie. We got a bit, and I didn't feel like it was-
we got
it
quite a
was-
bit of it, and that's what I'm saying is I
letdown.
think it's. We just talked about this last week with the Dead Zone, right? Where it's a lot harder for people to set aside eras.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, we watched The Dead Zone, Stephen King's movie adaptation from 1983 with Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
I gave that to Tim as
And
for
then
Toasted
the
or
TV
Trash.
show.
And then the TV show, yes, with Kiefer's, Michael Anthony Hall. But the movie specifically is what we talked about last week, and it was, like, Tim leaned toward trash.
Yeah.
Like initially, and I think you stuck with that, but you understood where I was coming from, where like I was more down the middle, and it was because I'm like, this came out 42 fucking years ago. So for what it was at that point, I felt like it was decent.
And
so like
people
25 years ago, 20 years ago when the first Fantastic Four came out, knowing what the CGI
But that
was
wasn't even the
then-
first Fantastic Four.
Well,
The first
there was
Fantastic
the
Four
live
came out in the 80s.
But that's what I'm saying is that
don't
one
talk about that.
we don't count that one because it never actually came out.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
God
never
for that.
distributed, right? And so the actual first live action adaptation of the Fantastic Four that theatrically was released was the 2005 one with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans and all them.
Ewan Gruffudd.
Yeah, him. I'm not gonna
Butchering
fuck
his
his
name.
name up. But then I forget the fucking dude. God damn it.
From the Shield.
Yeah, the Shield, the dude that played fucking Ben Grimm. But
That's-
look it up.
You know who we're talking about?
Michael
Come on.
Chiklis?
Yeah,
Michael Chiklis. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly
right.
That's
why we have you here.
That's how you drive.
You're here every weekend from now on. You make the fucking 3-hour drive every Saturday. And you stick to our schedule.
I mean, I actually could do that. I'm per diem in my kitchen.
I'm just saying,
But-
I live 45 minutes away and I got Saturdays off. So.
Yeah. But the fucking, just like when you think about the time gap in CGI from then to now, it's really easy for a community as a whole, not us specifically, because I feel like we're a lot more lenient towards that type of shit, but the online community to rip shit apart and be like, oh, they're gonna fuck it up just like they did. It's like, they didn't fuck it up at that point. Did they fuck up the character of Galactus? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Making it a gaseous cloud? Fuck you.
Yeah.
That was stupid. 100% agree with that. But just like the
Prior to that,
character
it was
abilities and
on.
stuff, and even Silver Surfer looked fucking good.
Looked great.
In 07.
The Silver Surfer in 07 was spot on with comics.
Yeah.
The 2005 movie, the original one with Doctor Doom, was spot on.
Yep.
There was nothing wrong with those other than the
fantastic.
CGI, which was 2005 CGI. It was great at the time.
That was the CGI then.
Yeah.
So it's really easiest for us to retrospectively look at it and be like, oh, that sucked. But it's
I
like,
love that movie.
Yeah. It's same.
I loved the
enjoyed
second
both.
one until they showed Galactus as a fucking gaseous form.
Which
I was like, no,
is
Galactus.
another huge point of this fucking trailer. We're getting actual fucking Galactus. And you saw that in the... Which, I don't know that you usually get in trailers, but we got like a post-credit scene in a trailer. Did you guys really realize that? Like, they like ended the trailer and then it like went dark and something popped up and then all of a sudden it cut to another scene of him walking, Galactus stepping through the city.
Right.
You stopped it before that, Tim.
I did not stop it before that.
Yeah.
I don't stop YouTube videos until they end.
Yeah, you got like
Unless it's
the
garbage.
trailer itself ended, Tim.
Jaw dropped.
I know, and that's because you don't get this in
You're
trailers.
the guy who stands up in Marvel movies.
No.
You
You
are
are
the
the
guy.
guy.
He's not.
I
He's
know.
not. He's too busy. Anyway, because I'm there too. Anyways, you go rewatch it. Move on to the next thing. What do we got?
Wait.
Send it. Send it.
Before, there was no John Malkovich in this trailer, was there?
There was no John Malkovich in this trailer. You are correct.
He's being so secretive.
Yes.
We have no idea
But
what
I'm
he's
so
playing.
excited.
There was also no Tony Doom.
That's true too.
That's.
I
Took
don't.
me a second to get.
I actually.
Robert Downey Doom?
I actually don't know.
I didn't know he was in it.
This is a conversation
Yeah,
for another time.
he's
We don't need to do this right
probably
now.
We'll
I
talk
don't
about
know-
it later.
I don't know that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in this movie.
On to the next.
But we also didn't
Oh
get
my
Natasha
God.
Lyonne into it.
Well, I'm going to introduce this one.
Okay, go for it.
I have been waiting for this fucking movie
We've been waiting.
for so fucking long.
We saw it in theaters.
I'm
28
assuming you're involved in this.
weeks later.
I can't
We
see what
saw-
it is, but
You don't. Did you
Tim
not?
and
put
I-
28 years later.
Did he not put the computer screen up for you?
no.
Oh, it's backwards.
You son of a bitch.
Justin,
You're a whore, Tim.
28 weeks later, what year did it come out?
His phone
That's
died,
a
guys.
spoiler to what we're going to talk
Yeah,
about.
my
Let's
phone
do it.
died.
All right, I got it. Myself and Timmy
It was like
went and saw the prequel to this movie in the year
2002. That's my guess.
2007.
Damn, I was early.
2007.
It starred a young Jeremy Renner
Mm-hmm.
in
No, wait.
what was the
We're
first
talking about-
movie.
Oh, 28
I
weeks
saw
later.
him in.
Okay, sorry.
28 weeks later. I have been waiting since then for a sequel, which has been literally fucking rumored since then.
Yeah.
28 years later, Aaron Taylor Johnson,
Jodie Comer,
Jodie Comer,
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes, a rumored cameo from Cillian Murphy that you just made a face. So maybe,
the director,
maybe I'm
and
off on that.
this could be them just like with promotion stuff. The director, Danny Boyle,
Yeah.
he has said that essentially he's come out and just been like how like kind of the MCU does things, right? He's been like, you might have to wait essentially.
Right.
So, because this movie is the beginning of a trilogy, and the second has already been filmed. It's 28 years later. The Bone Temple has already been filmed by Nia DaCosta, who was the director of the Marvels. And so I don't know that Cillian Murphy's going to be in this one. Right. But he is going to be. He's apparently going to pop up at some point throughout the
Which,
trilogy.
if he didn't pop up, pop up in the trilogy, it would be fine. Simply because we're 28 years later from the original.
Yeah.
And his character probably didn't survive. But this movie, the 2 trailers that I've watched, oh my god. It looks fantastic. It looks true to the original.
Well, the first was the teaser, and we talked about that on here.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, you could have closed your eyes and just listened to it and been like, what the fuck? Because the recital of that poem was like nerve-wracking enough. Then you add in the obvious visuals of like the quick glimpses of stuff that we got, but then we got the full fucking trailer.
And
Woo!
And
goddamn,
so excited.
As personally a massive zombie fan and someone who like looks into this shit, you know,
This guy.
28 years later is the closest thing that we'll get to actual zombies in the real world. So these are movies that I have loved because an infected person like the rage virus. That's only a couple mutations of the rabies virus away.
Yeah, that's the scariest version of zombies.
Yeah,
hands down is this. That's
so
the scariest version.
This to me is going to be a phenomenal movie, and I can't wait. Can't wait for it. What is it? June
We watched
20th?
the movie and then
June 20th
said
is what the trailer says.
Like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So we're just a couple months away from something that I've been waiting for almost
we walked
20
out of the
years,
theater
man.
going, when's 28 years later coming out?
Turns out it was 28 years later.
No, we said 28 months later, I think.
Yeah, I
it's
think
not
that's what we were
actually
talking
happening
about.
28 years later.
But it feels like
But-
that.
Close enough.
It does
It's
feel
close.
like that.
When did the first one come out?
I mean, I have it up.
Oh,
right
that's
here.
a good.
28 days later was 2002, so 23 years later.
I said 2002.
Pretty close.
I thought when you asked that too, I thought you were talking about the original. I didn't realize you were talking about 28 weeks later. Anyways, moving on to the next thing that we have here. This is an early development thing. We have Aladdin, the Monkey's Paw. The synopsis for this is a modern-day Londoner, Aladdin, inherits an ancient monkey's paw believed to grant wishes, only to discover that every desire comes at a soul-crushing price. As those around him fall victim to its curse, he must confront a growing evil and the demonic force that feeds on every wish made. The cast of this is Bradley Stryker, Nick Segar, Ricky Norwood, and Montana Manning.
Not to be confused with Peyton Manning or Dakota Fanning.
Yes. Or Dylan Norwood, who I went to high school with.
Yeah.
Or the striker that turned Wolverine into Wolverine. Anyways, here we go.
Or
the
his son that took
synopsis
over
of this,
Cerebral.
I don't know if you guys looked. I didn't put it on here or anywhere on because when I was doing this, I didn't have the fucking time to do it. But they have a poster out for it. Did you guys happen to look that
I
up?
have not seen it.
I am gonna pull it up while I'm talking real quick just so you guys can see it because it's that in and of itself is very. I was like, fuck.
So
I'm assuming it's Jafar. Jafar's the bad guy in Aladdin, right?
Yeah.
So the whole thing with this is the story of Aladdin is not a Disney story.
Mm-hmm.
It was a story that Disney made an adaptation of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're able to do this. It is not Aladdin itself is not a Disney. It's based off like a book of like
to
it's
the 40 Thieves.
It's the Arabian Nights.
It's the Arabian Nights. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and so that's why this is what it is, and they're making a fucking kind of a darker type of tone movie out of it. But let me see if I can pull this up just real quick. I know we got to move on.
I think if it's done right, it could be.
That's the fucking poster that popped up with this.
Oh, damn.
First off, I was like, Darth Maul? Are they making a Darth Maul movie? Because that 100% looks like it
Don't
could
get
be.
me started on Darth
Darth
Maul
Nope.
movies.
Shut up.
Nope.
Move on.
Nope.
Never mind. Move on. We don't have time.
Yeah.
We don't have time for Nathan to start talking Star Wars.
Acolyte. We're not going to do that.
Nope.
But anyways, the sound of this, everything about this, I was like, fuck yeah, this looks dope.
Fucking
It's like kind of goes to, in a sense, like the Pooniverse, right?
Yeah.
It's like something that we grew up on as kids with Aladdin,
Yeah.
and now they're making like the Twisted Childhood
Yeah,
universe thing, and like this isn't a part of it, but it kind of has that same. That's what it's called.
Blood and Honey.
Yeah, no, that's what that's no.
Yeah, it's
It's a
like the
legit
Avengers.
thing. It's called the Pooniverse. They're making like an Avengers-esque thing out of all these childhood horror movie adaptations. Bambi,
Max, Peter
All
Pan.
the Peter Pan, all
Sweet.
of the fucking things.
I like it.
It's
I
kind of
love it.
crazy. If you
want some
listen to
more
the
of it.
podcast, guys,
Tim
you
McGraw.
fucking know this. We've covered
does.
it. God
I do. I
damn.
listen to everything.
We're
Anyway,
not gonna
I
talk
love
about
you.
it.
Every Friday when I have
I
my
don't
prep,
have a lot of
my
time
prep
on my
day, I just listen to
hands.
it.
I love you. All right. Blockbusters question of the week. Nathan, well, this is the first time. This is a triple B first. Let's
This is what's
cheers
up.
to that.
Cheers
We don't
to
actually have
that.
to clink.
Cheers.
Just put them up. Okay, we're
gonna
clinking.
clink.
Not you. You stay over there.
You stay.
We put baby in the corner.
Oh,
You stay in your cell.
We've never had a guest pose a question before.
I'm gonna pose this question right now.
Nathan posed.
Blockbusters question of the week. If you could change the ending to one movie, which would you change and why? I will start.
Okay. Set the tone.
Star Wars Episode 9. The Rise of Skywalker.
We moved on from the last one to get away from Nathan talk about Star Wars.
Not-
Here we go.
The ending of Rise of
Here we go.
Skywalker, as you may or may not know, shows Kylo Ren dying, the New Republic, essentially, or the Resistance, ending Emperor Palpatine and his many clones, and then Rey, who is a fucking Palpatine, going to Tatooine, bearing lightsabers, and going, name's Rey. Nah, just Rey. Where the fuck's the Skywalker? They killed off the last Skywalker, with Kylo Ren being Ben Solo, being the son of Leia Skywalker. And then Rey is the last surviving thing. She's not a fucking Skywalker. How are you going to call it Rise of Skywalker and not have a Skywalker
Yeah.
at the end?
Damn.
I don't understand.
That's a good.
I don't
point.
get it. I think it's garbage.
Don't
That's a
drop
good
the
point.
mic, but you just dropped the mic.
Yeah.
To me, Rey should have fucking
Just-
died with her grandpa.
Grip it. And then just let
Ray
go.
should have died with her grandpa,
Now let go. There you go. That's the mic drop.
and Ben Solo should have been the last person in that movie. Because he's a Skywalker.
Fuck me.
Albeit from his mother's side, but he's still a fucking Skywalker.
Fuck me.
Moving on. Unless you guys got something to say.
I got.
I got very nothing. I got very nothing to say.
I like it though.
You just kind of blew my mind because I'm not nearly as into the Star Wars world as you are, but I've watched all of them, and
Yeah.
That's a good point. Goddamn.
Palpatine should not be the fucking face of the future. It just
Unless
it's not.
that's what leads to the future trilogy, which you know they're gonna put out.
The next
leads
trilogy
to
was just
some
got
form-
announced.
But if that leads to some form of thing against Rey, that then sends balance to the Force.
The next trilogy, which just got announced, occurs, I believe, between Episode 6 and Episode 7, which is prior.
Why do they gotta do this to us?
So they
All
had,
I want in the
so they had
whole
1, 2,
entire
3,
world.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now they're gonna go
No.
10, 11, 12 between 6 and 7.
No,
what the fuck?
no, not true. 1 through 9 are the Skywalker saga. The next Star Wars movie trilogy is not part of the Skywalker saga.
Okay, so it's
Okay,
its own
that's
thing, but it.
All
Timeline-wise.
us Star Wars
Gotcha,
fans
gotcha,
want
gotcha.
in our heart of hearts is a fucking movie trilogy set in the Old Republic with Keanu Reeves playing Darth fucking Revan.
Oh
That's
yeah.
all we want. Justin knows what's up. That's all we want in our lives, and they will not give it to us. They will not go to the Old Republic, and I don't understand.
Well,
Let's move on, or I'm going to be on a soapbox
let's
dropping
do the
dropping pipe
let's do
bombs
the
for the
triple B
next hour.
memoriam toast real quick to the idea of Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan. There we go. I have no idea who that character is, but I love Keanu
If you
Reeves.
played
I'm here
more
for it.
BioWare video games, you would know.
I don't. So here we go.
I-
Timmy, what do you got?
50 First Dates.
What?
I agree 100%
I would-
because I know I feel like I know where you're gonna go.
I would not.
I almost picked this.
I would not have her have a kid.
Yes,
It's
100%.
very dark.
It is.
For a
There are
romantic
so
comedy.
many dark implications of that with somebody that wakes up every day not remembering what it is to then wake up pregnant.
Oh yeah, you're
There
right.
is
Yeah.
so many fucked up aspects that I literally
They
almost
could've-
I had this and what I actually wrote down as my two options.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go this dark, so I chose the other one, which is kind of weird considering the movie I chose.
It's almost like it
But,
like
yeah,
it like it fucking leads
100%.
into that movie Mommy. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah,
and
it's fucking. It is. There's
they
so
could have
many
ended it
things.
with they could have just ended it without that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
100%
Or they
without
could
it.
have, if they wanted to show some sort of future for her, they could have fucking ended it with a cure for her fucking amnesia. I don't.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
just her having a kid. That was just like, ooh, like
Yeah.
it's a dark twist, you know. And we didn't think that in the moment because it was a
Yeah.
happy-go-lucky ending. But
yeah. It's a retrospective insight
yeah.
for sure.
You
But
might
yeah,
just ruin that
that's-
movie for me.
Yeah, yeah. Like literally, yeah. Like that's the thing about it is like when you think back on it, you're like, fuck.
That was a tough. This
That's
has been a
fucked
tough
up.
question.
It was a tough
I had
question.
to, like,
This was one of the better
that's why I wanted
questions
to pose
posed on here. It was great. It was a really
Because
good
we all
question, I
have
think.
those ideas. Like when we watch a movie, we all have that idea. Like I think it could have been this. So I
I went with a deep cut here.
Okay.
still.
I went with 2008's M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening.
Oh.
Okay.
And the reason why is because this was such a widely panned movie.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I enjoyed the movie for what it was.
Yeah.
It had definitely. I'm not ignorant. I'm not an idiot. It definitely had its moments where it's like, really, what the fuck are we doing here? But the concept of it, I think, is so good.
Definitely in type with M. Night Shyamalan.
However, the ending, I feel like completely takes you out of a typical M. Night Shyamalan situation. Like, they make you think, oh, they're living their, it's months later, they're living their life normally, everything's good, and then they see the news thing of, oh, shit, something's like this.
I don't want to interrupt you, but your phone's about to die. We just hit the little battery thingy.
Okay, we're almost done.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
We just got to do predictions.
Yep. So then you get the news thing that's like, oh shit, this is happening in France, right? I feel like you could have ended the movie with, and this is going dark, but and I know I just said I didn't want to go dark on it, but I went dark. But that 51st Date's a whole other area of dark here. I think that movie would have ended perfectly and better if you would have had them feeling like they outlasted this, and then all of a sudden something happens, and then it just like you get like almost a zoom in of how everyone else looked when they got the toxin or whatever it was on Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
You don't have to see Zooey Deschanel. You don't have to see the adopted daughter die or go through any of it, but you just get the look and it just zooms in, and then that's how the fucking movie ends, is you with the insinuation of, oh fuck, Mark Wahlberg just got infected or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it ends. Now that's an M. Night Shyamalan fucking movie.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. And I was like,
before
you don't
we
need
move
you don't
on-
need to go in as dark as to actually have the wife and the kid die, but
Before we move on, I feel like the ending of that movie was very much a copy paste of 28 Weeks Later. 28 weeks later, what happens? They get on the helicopter, they fly out, you think everyone's fine, and then it cuts to the helicopter has crashed in France, and now France is infected, right?
Yeah.
It was just in the UK, it was contained, and then now France is infected, which means everything but the Americas will be infected, which is how I like things, but so I feel like it was a copy and paste. So I agree.
yeah.
That's a good one. All
goddamn,
moving
dude.
on.
Episode.
Great fucking question that you
Another
posed.
clinky,
Heck yeah.
clinky and drinky.
Cheers.